Welcome into the Slater Family Ice Arena. Bowling Green hockey set for the second of a two-game series against Augustana, the first that Augustana is playing in the Slater Family Ice Arena in the great state of Ohio. Ben Korak here with Nathan Burkett from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Nathan, it's been a while since you've been on the call with us. I believe Northern Michigan was the last time, so how's it feel to be back, man?
Feels good to be back. You were in New York for that game, that set of games.
Yeah,
we got 2 wins in those games. Hopefully we are able to get a win tonight.
Yeah, hopefully you are the good luck charm, and we finally get back into the win column with you here on the broadcast. Yesterday was, you watched it yesterday. You wrote for the game as well. It's available on bgfalconmedia.com. The recap is. It was a great game that Bowling Green played. They really could not have played better in many aspects of the game. There's one that they could have improved on, and we'll get to that in a second. But a 1-0 loss in overtime. It was Hayden Hennon who scored the final goal, assisted by Colton Friesen, and that was the only score of the game yesterday. It finished 1-0 through overtime, and it was a defensive battle between these two teams and a pretty even one at the top for the CCHA.
Absolutely. You're talking about BG played great. The only thing I feel like they could have improved on is putting the puck in the net, but you can't always control that, especially when you have a player like Josh Kotai in net for Augustana. Him and Stover all year have been playing great for their respective teams, and both of them are included or were included in the watch list for the Mike Richter Award.
Certainly, an award given to goaltenders, college goaltenders. Kotai, as we mentioned, 32 saves yesterday, no goals allowed. Christian Stover with 2 more saves, but the 1 goal allowed in overtime, which certainly helps his stats tremendously after giving up 3, 4, and 3 the last 3 games, although he has played spectacular. The defense for Bowling Green was absolutely lights out as well. Sternberg and Norris played a little bit less than we've seen a lot of this season, but the third line of Karodiak and Parker and McKinley in there as well played great defensively, and Ben Wozni and Tommy Passenden worked in there quite a lot as well. And there was a couple of plays. Breck McKinley's one that comes to mind where he caught a pass across the slot from Augustana on a power play, cleared it out, and it was just plays like that that really propelled Bowling Green into overtime with the 0-0, not allowing any pucks in the back of the net until the 3-on-3 in overtime.
Absolutely. Looking back at the stats from last night when I was doing the recap earlier this morning, I noticed that the 2 leaders in shots on goal from yesterday were the top pairing of Gustav Sternberg and Dalton Norris. Usually you would see like Ryan O'Hara or Brody Waters leading the list, but this way it was all defense, Sternberg and Norris. And actually, when watching the game yesterday, I noticed something on Sternberg that I texted you in the middle of the game. Didn't mean to bother you, but just noticed it, thought I should point it out. Sternberg reminds me so much of NHL legend Chris Pronger in the way where he's just kind of scary for our teams to go up against. Al McInnes, one of a fellow Hall of Famer, but also one of Chris Pronger's pair mates when he was with St. Louis, talked about how he hated being line mates with Chris Pronger because everyone would dump it in his corner because no one wanted to go dump it into Chris Pronger's corner and have to go chase after it. It feels the same way with Sternberg. Like, anytime you're watching him, to quote Patrick Starr, he's just standing there menacingly, like the entire game. He's just waiting for someone to hit. And anytime he gets the opportunity, you're just going to see a massive body check.
He certainly is, and you hear the term all the time, power forward, referring to the offensive side of play. Alex Ovechkin's a pretty good example of that. You never really hear the term power defenseman. It's kind of gratuitous, but in the case of Sternberg, he is that player. He had his first penalty in a long while yesterday, but he's only got 2 penalties in the last 10 games. He's been great in that area. He's played stifling defense, and Dalton Norris and Sternberg as slap shot menaces on the power play are fantastic. That's where a lot of their shots on goal yesterday came from. 14 shots on goal for Bowling Green on the power play, but they were 0 for 4, and I think a lot of that was what hurt their offensive chances is they had 4 offensive chances. They had pretty good power play opportunities, but weren't able to fill the back of the net on the man advantage.
Absolutely. Both teams could not score on the power play last night, which on negative, obviously, that means that BG went 0 for 4 on the power play. Positive, though, they were 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. The penalty kill has been great, as it has been all year. And a lot of that has to come from Sternberg and the other defensemen.
It was really great to see Bowling Green hold on throughout the game as well. You know, we saw Ferris State Series 1 where they took 5 unanswered goals in the first period of both games, and then allowed 4 unanswered goals in the second period between the 2 games. Bemidji State, we all know, they blew a 3-2 lead in the third period to only take 2 points in the first Bemidji State game, where we thought they could have took another one, and then they blew a 3-0 and a 4-2 lead in the second Bemidji State game and only took 1 point in a game that they really should have won. Played better than Bemidji State for probably about 100 of the 120 minutes played that weekend. Felt the same against Ferris State, and it felt the same yesterday against Augustana, and one they could only take 1 point. Currently sitting at 4th in the CCHA, Augustana up at 1st. Minnesota State was losing a moment ago, but they're now tied with Ferris State 2-2, so we'll keep an update on how that game is going as well, because there's a real battle for the top with Augustana, Minnesota State, Michigan Tech, who plays Northern Michigan, and Bowling Green as well, who plays another top team, and Augustana. These are really coming down to the dog days of when it really matters. Every point really matters, and it's going to be big for BG to come away with 3 today.
Absolutely, and a trend I've noticed over recent weeks, which might not necessarily be a good trend for BG, but it's something that they can look at positively for tonight. The situation they're currently in, having lost yesterday in overtime, is in a situation that they've had over the last 2 series against Ferris State and Bemidji, where they'll win. For those situations, the first game, hopefully this time will be the second game, they'll win one game and then they'll lose the other one in either overtime or a shootout. So they're consistently getting 4 points out of these series, which obviously you need to get more, especially as you're coming down to the end of the season where that playoff seeding might come down to those couple of points they're missing. But it looks like if the trend continues, they might be able to get a win tonight.
Overtime struggles certainly plaguing. It's going to be big to not be able to head into an overtime, especially to keep Christian Stover on his feet, which is something that he's been great at lately. Took his first loss yesterday in overtime loss, but still has not lost the season in regulation. He's 7-1-2 on the season, 1.8 goals allowed on average, and a .947 save percentage, quite comparable to Josh Kotai, who's going to be across the ice from him, 1.6 goals allowed per game and a .948 save percentage, about as even as they can get between these 2 squads. And the players in front of them are going to stay pretty similar on the Bowling Green side and pretty different on the Augustana side. I can speak to Augustana, as you might not have had access to a line chart yesterday, but we're going to see Peyton Matsui and Nace Langus in the centerman role for Augustana today. Joey Del Greco is going to move over to the right wing on the third line. Brett Meerman, who was a right winger yesterday and one of the leading shot takers for Augustana, is going to move to the left wing on the first line. And we're going to see Ben Trombley in the game as playing at number 8 today in replace of Callum Gow, who was the 4th line center and really took a couple penalties and didn't have a great game for Augustana. Defensemen are going to stay the same, but it's going to be a pretty impenetrable Augustana team if they play anything like they did yesterday.
Absolutely. It really comes down to their goaltending. Again, Josh Kotai has played amazing all year, and that's why if you look at the NCAA stats right now, him and Stover are top 10 in almost all critical goalie stats. They are 1-2 in save percentage, and going, not including yesterday's game, which I do not have active stats to, or was not able to check earlier, they are currently different in the points for save percentage by a single .001%.
Certainly, and moving over to Bowling Green as well, you know, why fix what ain't broken? I mean, they didn't change anything from their lineup yesterday to today, and I think that's a wise move by Willie, because they played great yesterday. We keep saying that, but it's true. They played great yesterday, allowed only 1 goal through 63 minutes of play, and Augustana allowed no goals through 63 minutes of play. They changed up their lineup. We're not going to change anything. Still O'Hara, Duran, and Waters the first line. Foe, Grant, and Zonka the second line. Martin, Scardina, and Emerson the third. Niedermeyer, Emanen, and Fighton the fourth. And then Norris and Sternberg, who we referenced earlier in our pregame. Wozni and Passanen were the defensive line of defensemen. And Karodiak, who I think has played amazing shifts lately. I think he's been a great addition to the team. He's going to be paired with Eric Parker today, and Breck McKinley or Owen Ozar are going to be the extra skater. If I had to guess, it's going to be McKinley today, with Ozar being scratched, but we will see. And I really like the move from Willie to keep everything the same. You know, you allowed 1 goal, and hopefully you can do that again today and score some.
I mean, absolutely. And watching the game yesterday, having to write for it, it's not like BG and Scardina talked about this in the press conference after the game. BG really didn't do it. It's not like they did something wrong on offense that prevented them from scoring. They just got goalied. Like, Kotai just stood up and made the saves he needed to save and made all the other saves that weren't necessarily ones he has to make, but ones that you want to make if your goalie is going to win you a game. Coach Willie always talks about how if you're going to be a good goalie, you have to make all the saves you have to make and then make those extra big ones. Kotai made the extra big ones yesterday. And that's not saying that the offense from BG struggled or had a bad game. They had a good game. There was a lot of chances where I thought watching that for sure was going to go in, and either by puck luck or pure skill from Kotai, they found a way to stop the puck, and Augustana escaped to a shutout.
The only true offensive criticism you can make of Bowling Green was the 4 power plays that you weren't able to score on. As we all may know, Ferris State Series, the second game, there was a huge 5-minute major penalty that the Falcons had a power play on, weren't able to score, and ended up losing by 1 at the end of the game. So maybe you look back to that. Yesterday, maybe you look back to those power plays, and maybe you didn't even have to go in overtime. It would have been 1-0 through 60 minutes. But I digress. It's a new day. It's new skaters on the ice now, fresh legs for all the team. We have the starting lineups in here as well. Nathan, why don't you walk us through the starting lineup for Augustana?
All right, well, starting up front, on the left wing, we have Brett Meerman, number 72, the sophomore. At center, we have the junior, number 24, Colton Friesen. At the right wing, we have Quinn Rudrud, the junior, who wears number 21. On defense, we have the third pair. We have Evan McIntyre, the assistant captain. He's a senior on Augustana's team. He wears number 7. On the other side, we have another assistant captain, number 22, a fellow senior, Brady Ziemer. And then in goal, to no one's surprise, Josh Kotai, the sophomore.
Played an absolutely fantastic game yesterday. Christian Stover, to no surprise, will be between the pipes for Bowling Green today. They will start a very different pairing, I should say. Ethan Scardina is going to be in the wheel, which isn't surprising, the captain, but his right and left winger is going to be Quinn Emerson and Max Martin. I really like the way that line plays together. We saw that earlier in the season. They got away from it, and now they're bringing it back. They had some great shifts yesterday, and they're going to be starting for Bowling Green today, and that's a good start, I think, with your best centerman in the center wheel. And then making his first start in the orange and brown, Ivan Karodiak is going to get it. Number 3, playing on left defense with Eric Parker today, and he's going to get his first start. He's really earned it. Scored his first point in the second Ferris State game, and he's going to get his first start today. Exciting stuff for Karodiak, and we'll certainly keep a lookout for him. Now that we've read our starting lineups, we'll look over to Pick the Stick. Unfortunately, none of our selections for Pick the Stick are starting besides Christian Stover, and we'll start with him. Artie Abrego, our board operator today, did choose Christian Stover, meaning he will start with 3 points and lose them as Stover gives up goals. If it's anything like yesterday, that's a great pick for Artie because Stover finished with 2 points and got a win for our board operator, Holden Ruck. So Artie, you're going for 2 board operator Pick the Stick victories in a row. Lucas Kleinmeyer, who was on the broadcast with me yesterday, our content director, chose Ben Duran, the first line center. Tyler Kavelitz, our production director, and Lucas Kleinmeyer's partner in crime for the Falcon Media Sports Network, chose Ryan O'Hara, both first line. Nathan, you chose a pretty similar pick there on that first line.
Yeah, I went with Brody Waters, which has been a common pick for Pick Your Stick so far this year. Actually, I believe the first time I personally am picking him, though. There's a couple reasons. It's not just because he's leading the team in goals, which is obviously always a good pick.
Which he is, and the CCHA.
And the CCHA. And he's 6th in goals in all of NCAA hockey.
Yes.
Speaking of things he's leading, though, he's also top in the CCHA and top in the NCAA in power play goals. We're talking about how the power play has been struggling recently. If anyone's going to break them out of that rut they've been in, it'll probably be Brody Waters. Another little fact, though, I found doing some research for this game is on top of all that goal scoring, his first ever career goal in the orange and brown and in college hockey came last year against this team playing at Augustana.
See if he can do it again today in the home barn for Bowling Green. I'm going to go with a similar power play related pick. I like the way Dalton Norris plays in the power play on the right wing at the wheel, taking slappers. I think he's really going to put one through today. He has the potential for a multi-score game with the goal and assists that he gets by playing a lot of minutes at defenseman for Bowling Green. Played almost 50 minutes last week against Ferris State. Don't know his numbers this week, but I think Norris is going to be able to fill one today and win me a Pick the Stick and try and advance me against Lucas Kleinmeyer. Again, Pick the Stick, 1 point per goal, half a point per assist. We'll tally them up and see who wins at the end of the game. So stay tuned in a few minutes for puck drop here, Bowling Green versus Augustana in the Slater Family Ice Arena. A big one for Bowling Green to try and take 3. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey everyone, Falcon Media Sports Director Lucas Kleinmeyer here. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Falcon Hockey looks to get back in the win column against Augustana on Friday, January 24th. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak and Lucas Kleinmeyer at 7:15 for pregame and 7:30 for puck drop on WBGU 88.1 FM. On Saturday, January 18th, senior guard Lexi Fleming became the 32nd player in program history to reach 1,000 career points. Doing it in her 82nd start, she tied herself for the 9th fastest player to reach that point total. In the game against Northern Illinois, where she reached the career milestone, she scored 15 points and dished out 5 as total assists. Fleming averages 12.6 points and 3.3 assists per game this season. In MAC play, she averages 14.5 points and 4.1 assists per game. The former MAC Freshman of the Year is currently in her 5th year with the BGSU women's basketball program and averages 2.12 steals per game, the 4th most in program history. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Forward Jemai Felt has emerged as a young star as a redshirt freshman on the BGSU men's basketball team after earning this week's Falcon Media Sports Network Athlete of the Week award. Felt followed up a Falcon win against Buffalo where he earned 8 points on 7 rebounds and 4 blocks with a performance against Eastern Michigan where he was 2 points short of a double-double with 8 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 4 steals. After sitting out the past 2 seasons due to injury, Felt has emerged as a dominant force at the block among a Falcon squad riddled with front court injuries, as his 1.4 blocks per game is good for 3rd best in the MAC. This has been Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network. Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconMedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconMedia.com. Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
On September 13th, BGSU men's soccer's Bennett Painter scored the game-winning goal against Northern Illinois, leading to the team getting nationally ranked. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer had the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
Gonna win that one initially. Head up again. Wins the second one, however. Back to lane, back to Painter. That one's blocked, gets it back. Painter! Bennett Painter paints another masterclass at Cochran Stadium.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Great atmosphere here in this Later Family Ice Arena as we prepare for the Falcons and the Vikings facing off. Bowling Green versus Augustana at a battle for one of the top spots in the CCHA. The top spot's one that Augustana holds on to right now, but Bowling Green can drop them back down with some help from Michigan Tech and Minnesota State across the CCHA as well. All four top teams playing around the CCHA, and we got two of them here. Very lucky for that. Ben Korak here with Nathan Burkett from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Nathan, any final thoughts before we drop puck here?
Not really. I feel like we've covered just about everything. I will say I'm excited to see Quinn Emerson out here as a starter. He always brings the fire, especially as a starting lineup. He always brings energy. You said today's going to be a battle. I'd argue it's going to be a war on Star Wars night.
It certainly is. Scardina in the wheel matching up with Colton Friesen, and the faceoff is promptly won by Scardina, who had the most faceoff wins of any player yesterday in the match between these two squads, Vikings or Falcons. Pass out to the far side. Stick has got on it. Back up to the blue line and a slap shot in. Crossed the nose of Kotai, who was great yesterday. 32 saves, no goals allowed. This one banks off. It'll be a breakaway here a little bit for Augustana. They take it back in. It's held on to. Big hit by Scardina. Redirected right back at him. And he'll go off for a change wholesale from the Falcons as they get new defensemen and forwards out there, and it's the first line of both. O'Hara goes for a hit, putting the pressure on. We saw great physicality yesterday through regulation. Not so much physicality in the 3-on-3, but it's really tough to catch a body when there's so much ice around you. Waters looking for a pass. He gets it to Duran. Duran back to Waters. Waters settles it down out of the air. Back to Duran on the right wing. Duran leaves it back in. O'Hara into Waters. Waters in the slot, and he's pressured away by an Augustana defenseman and out to center ice. Off the half wall there, Brody Waters with the puck, still working in for it on the forecheck, and now it's turned back over to the Vikings, who takes it up their own right wing. Pressed up, passing in back. He has the puck, puts on the brakes, and turns it back to Duran. Duran up the near side, Fighton now. Fighton takes it all the way in. His shot saved by Kotai. Redirect in front by Kotai away from Fighton to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer misses a pretty darn good shot there on the receiving end. Open space into Emanen. Emanen with the slap shot, but it won't fall close enough to Kotai for him to make a save. And Bond takes it up the near side. He's hit from the back by what looked to be Seth Fighton. And that turns the puck back over to the Falcons, who have held possession quite a lot in this opening period. Have yet to see true possession in the offensive end by Augustana. Now they finally get it in, but Zonka is really pressuring it up. Peyton Matsui. Matsui on the right wing, back out to the blue line. Baumgartner across to Zemer. Zemer with a slap shot. Another one directed in towards Stover, who had 34 saves yesterday and only one goal allowed in overtime. Unfortunately took his first loss of the season, but still perfect through regulation in his 10 games played. This is 11th, and we have the first whistle of the game with 17:44 left to play in the first.
BG so far bringing a lot of physicality, which they definitely did yesterday. I will say, watching the game yesterday, the CCHA is known for a lot of like the rivalries between the teams in the CCHA. A lot of like hits. I didn't really see as much like animosity between the two teams, but BG brought all the physicality, which Augustana could not answer for a long part of the game.
Shot in for a redirect in front by Stjernberg. Martin was down there, but he couldn't get a clean enough stick on it, and Stjernberg will retreat back into his own zone. Up the right wing, pass across. Oh, that one was hot and goes into the stands, so we'll have another whistle and out to Central. You are accurate about that, the physicality, but not a lot of animosity. But we do see, even rivalry games or not in the CCHA, the second day tends to be a little bit chippier than the first. The guys know each other, knows how they've played, and there was a couple of real big hits against and for the Falcons that might bubble over into today's game. Duran in the circle with Nace Langus. Langus played on the left wing last night. He's playing as a centerman tonight, and he promptly loses the faceoff. Dalton Norris with the slap shot to pick the stick of Myself. 1 point per goal, half a point per assist. Tommy Paston with a shot in. Waters was in front of the crease as well, as he's dropped down to his knees as he chases the puck into the right wing. Bowling Green trying to get it out to Paston, but they can't do it. Augustana with the puck, getting it outside the zone, and it'll be knocked all the way down. Hunter Bischoff was the passer there, and it was a little bit long for the forward skater for the Vikings. Korodiak back out of the bench, skating behind the goal line. He'll take the puck up the left wing, and Paston will look to head off for another defenseman. It's Eric Parker, the line mate of Korodiak. Great shifts by Korodiak. Not a lot of point production, but high energy, high hitting player as well. Almost directed in front. Emanen was crashing in from the goal line, and now Augustana with the takeaway. It's Quinn Rudrund. Rudrund takes it up, leaves it back. Oh, big hit there by Korodiak. Forces the puck free, tries to get it outside the zone, but that one Meerman's going to feel in the morning. The left winger from Augustana. That was a crushing hit.
He's feeling it now.
Niedermeyer dumps it up. Wholesale change from the Falcons. Zunka, Grant, and Foe on the ice for Bowling Green. 3 men at the goal line for the Falcons. They turn it over, and it'll be Grant that chases this one in. He'll get his stick on the puck first, see which way he goes. He goes out to the right wing blue line. It's Foe getting it out to center. Back across blue line. McKinley with the shot in, and Kotai holds onto it. 4 shots on goal now for the Falcons. 15:51 left to play in the first, and still no score. You have to see a regulation goal, and much to the dismay of Lucas Kleinmeyer, who had his first ever hockey broadcast last night and didn't get to see a Bowling Green goal, and unfortunate stuff for him.
No, I was ready to hear his goal call. I told him for the game,
Yeah.
It's just soccer on ice. Just use your same goal call. Just
Exactly,
switch out
man. That's what I
Bennett
kept
Painter
telling
for a hockey player.
That's what I kept telling him, and I think he only referenced Bennett Painter once, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that was off air. I'm not remembering correctly. 15:50 left to play in the first. BG wins the faceoff, still battling for it to hold on in the O zone now on the left wing. Pressing it up by Augustana, and they come away with the puck. Bank pass out. Paston will be the first one there. Tries to get it to another white jersey, but it's intercepted. Drotz leaves it back. Taking it back around. McIntyre. Hayden Hennon had the overtime game winner yesterday for Augustana. And Stover will cover this one up as the shot from Hennon was gloved and held. Hennon at his 3rd goal of the season last night, his 12th total point, the highest scoring defenseman for Augustana and the highest scoring defenseman for both sides in this contest. The next closest, Dalton Norris, with 11. He's got 2 and 9 for his 11 total points. Only about 30 expired. 15:30 left to play in the first. BG flips it up outside the zone. Augustana trying to settle it down, but can't. Hennon will be the one. He finally gets it across, and it's long for Simon Falk. Right winger for Augustana, a senior out of Ventura, Sweden. Scardina takes it up center ice. He puts a bump on, but he loses the puck. Augustana up the left wing, now turns it back around. Owen Baumgartner, who played pretty well yesterday. He and Hennon were the premier defensive line for the Vikings, although it's mixed around quite a bit. McIntyre ranging all the way off the bench, takes it in, looking for a shot. His one goes high off of the stick of Wozni and out of play into the netting. You know, Lucas Kleinmeyer yesterday, and I harped on it a lot, how many players on this Augustana team can really kill you. You look down the stat sheet, and there's not a lot of discrepancy among the top, 5 or 6 in how many points or goals or assists they've scored. And just goes to show the head coach, Garrett Raboyne, was willing to switch up the line today and not feel like it's going to change a whole lot. Korodiak up the center. O'Hara's pass across is intercepted. Back up, Stjernberg dumps it in. Duran's there as well. He stays on sides and gets it inside the O-zone. Waters putting a hit on and gets it out to central ice where the Falcons hold it. Passing it up, he's the lead man up for the Falcons, oddly enough. McIntyre gets pressed behind the goal of Kotai. Duran back up to McKinley. McKinley with the shot in as he's pressed outside the blue line. He's playing on the back line right now with Tommy Passanen, so a little bit of mix-up there. Seth Fighton comes right off the bench and battles with Del Greco for the puck. They'll be cleared all the way back around to the centerman today, Peyton Matsui. Centering pass, taken away by Fighton. Fighton flips it to O'Hara. The lines are kind of scrambled right now for Bowling Green, but I think they got the right guys back out. Niedermeyer, Emanen, and Fighton on the ice with Stjernberg and Dalton Norris. Back out. Birchoff. The pass in is off the stick of Niedermeyer and up into the netting again. 13:36, no score through the first period.
I would say between these two teams, Augustana has more of the speed and skill, and BG has more of the big physical bodies.
BG is playing a little more physical than Augustana earlier in this one, although it was pretty even in that department yesterday. Some big hits traded both ways. Taking the puck away is Fighton. Fighton leaves it back. You know, he, for a guy that has been scratched a decent amount this season, he's played some great shifts the last couple of games. Only 18 games played compared to 25 total for the Falcons now. He's been scratched a decent bit, but I think he's earned his way consistently back into the lineup. Norris through center, poked away by Stjernberger, out of stick on it. Trombley, Ben Trombley, the only new addition in the lineup for the Vikings today. He keeps this one away from an icing as he gets a stick on it, lets it go, and goes for a change. Dalton Norris out on the near side. Jaden Grant takes it up along the right wing. Dumps it in. The defenseman has to avoid the interference as he was going for a hit against Grant. Now out to center. Parker goes for the body but misses the puck. Taking it up the left wing now are the Vikings. Rudrud loses it. Friesen dumps it back in. Parker is there in the right place, and his is a little bit long. I think it's going to be an icing against the Falcons, and that it is. They won't get a change off. 12.5 left to play in the first period. No score yet. Still yet to see a regulation scored goal through 68 minutes of play this weekend.
Coach Willie talked in the press conference how he wants to see his guys get in the blue paint more, and I feel like that's what's going to take to get one by Cote today. Just a lucky bounce.
Their shot chart looked real good yesterday. Almost all the shots that they took were in the slot in some way, between the wheels, down deep, far closer than Augustana's. Another shot in. Stover goes off of his chest, bounces at his feet, and he covers it up. He's saved 3 shots so far, and Augustana's goalie, Josh Kotai, has saved 5. Ironic that the Falcons had more high-quality chances yesterday. The shots on goal were tighter in with the goalie, and yet it was a somewhat deep shot from Hayden Hennon that was the decider in the game yesterday. Took it from around the wheel height. This one off the stick again and up into the netting, so we'll get a reset.
To be fair, when you go into overtime, especially that late into overtime, everyone's just, at that point, probably just so tired that take any shot, see if it'll go in. You never know.
Owen Bond leads in shots from Augustana with 2 without a recorded shot on goal. Ville Emanen leads for the Falcons with 2 shots and 1 shot on goal. Tied with a couple of other Falcons for that. Emerson goes for a hit. Martin gets in there as well to force the puck free. Scardina is also there, and with Emerson and Martin. And it'll be turned over back to Owen Bond. Owen Bond takes it up through center. Now to Drotz. Drotz up the right side. Dalton Norris gets it outside the zone. Max Martin with the puck now. He loses the handle on it and dumps it in to the good side of the center line. The Vikings will hold on to the puck. We saw about 3-4 minutes of true possession from the Falcons early, and now they've surrendered quite a decent amount of that back to the Vikings as Luke Mobley leaves it in. Wearing a hit is Korodiak. Korodiak takes it out the left side of the goal with Stjernberg. Another shot in. Stjernberg's there. He's going to be battling for it with Peyton Matsui. Matsui avoids the hit smartly as Sternberg is a force to be reckoned with. Kicked away by the Falcon defense with Stover ranging outside the blue paint to take this one. Luke Mobley in there as well, and it's outside the zone of the Falcons, so safe for a second. Waters up, O'Hara and Duran in there as well. Some chippiness going on in front of the Augustana bench as they're talking a little bit in there as well. Now into the Falcon nose zone. McKinley looking in, and he dumps it back, and this one will be flipped up high into the air, dropped down, and pancaked by Seth Fighton, who's now out there as forward with Niedermeyer and Emanen. McKinley and Wozni on the defensive line as well. Emanen in there looking for the puck. The lead pass is a little bit long for Nace Langus, fourth line center for the Vikings. Augustana looking in, turns it back around. Ben Trombley back out to Hayden Hennon at the blue line, but it's outside of it, and Owen Baumgartner will turn it over in center to Emanen. Emanen up to Niedermeyer, back to Emanen. Emanen on the left wing, back around to Niedermeyer. It's long for him, fighting with the puck. Not a lot of offense on that fourth line from the Falcons. Emanen probably the best scorer, and Fighton and Niedermeyer frequently penalty killers and defensive spot guys, which they have their role on the team, but offensive production is not their forte. 10 minutes left to play in the first period. Brett Foe takes it up through center, head down, doesn't pass. Back to the left wing of Augustana, and they hold on to this one now, even puck possession. In between the blue lines, Stover will stop this one and pass it to his defenseman, Eric Parker. Back out, Zonka turns it over. Pretty good shifts yesterday, again, no points. Turns this one back over, and it's Birchoff. Birchoff back out to the blue line. Slap shot in by McIntyre is knocked wide. Easton Young was the shooter there. Back around to Zonka. Zonka on the near side boards now. We'll get it outside the zone. Brett Foe putting pressure on. 9:10 left to play in the first period. Still no score, Augustana and Bowling Green in the Slater Family Ice Arena. The first series Augustana will ever play here in Ohio as a CCHA matchup against Bowling Green. They played last year and have a 3-0 series lead over the Falcons. But yesterday's game was the only one that mattered for CCHA ranking. Putting a big hit on by the Falcons in front of the student section. That's going to add some energy back to the crowd here. Under 9 minutes left to play in the first period. The Vikings looking for a crossing pass, chipped up into the netting. That one was intended for Garrett Drotz, I should say, the freshman left winger. And we will head into our first break in the action with a 0-0 score, similar to how we saw through all three periods yesterday. But Bowling Green Augustana playing even yet again. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Miss a BGSU sports broadcast? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to listen to past calls by Falcon Media Sports Network.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconMedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
Christian Stover back out on the ice, kneeling in his crease. So far, 6 saves, no goals allowed. And Josh Kotai on the other side of the ice is still perfect this weekend, making a bid for the Goaltender of the Week award in the CCHA. But the Falcons looking to spoil it as half of the first period is now expired and still a 0-0 score. Ben Korak, Nathan Burkett here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. Nathan, what have you seen through half the first?
A lot of big hits from BG, and I will say BG seems to be better at wearing hits than Augustana so far. We'll see Augustana after they take a big hit. They'll be like stunned. Maybe they fall down and they'll stay down for a couple of seconds. BG, it's when you take a big hit, you got to get up, you got to go. But we'll see how that continues throughout the game.
High velocity from Willie's team, as we've seen a lot of this season. A nice departure. This one's a good backhand pass into Meerman, but Meerman is knocked back out to McIntyre at the blue line. McIntyre, a shot from the point, is blocked by Quinn Emerson. Emerson up, and he's pressed up and knocked down to the ice. He gets right up and skates off the bench as there was a need from an extra forward on that first line. Sternberg goes for the body. Stover plays the puck now, which is a smart play. The defenseman wasn't back yet, and it was led. Now Stover goes to play this one and nab it out of the air. Augustana with the puck behind the goal. Now finally pressured. Centering pass and is long for a couple of Vikings. McIntyre will have to chase it all the way back in his own zone. Mobley the pass across. Waters gets a stick on it. If he could knock some of the heat off of that one, he would have had a great offensive chance in front to Ben Duran, and it's taken away by a defenseman from Augustana. This one's flipped up and off of the glass and into the crowd. So we'll have another whistle and a stoppage with under 8 left to play in the first.
A souvenir for a fan.
Seen a decent amount of those this weekend. Saw a lot in the Bemidji State Series as well. Something about the Slater Family Ice Arena. People like to see defensive battles apparently, and like to get pucks. It's another one to chuck out into center when they do the puck throw.
I know someone who was hit by, I believe, they counted 5 pucks in one season once.
Wow. I mean, we counted digs for volleyball, Chaz McNeil and I. Every time we caught a ball on press row, we'd count it as a dig, and I ended up winning with 6. I keep holding that over his head because I did have more than him. 5 pucks, though. The puck, I would imagine, hurts a lot worse than just a simple volleyball does. Bowling Green dumps it into the zone. Hayden Hennon takes it around his own goal, and Kotai. He'll try and find another jersey. Bowling Green with a centering pass, but is blocked. Back out to the blue line. Karodiak passes up a shot for Passanen. Passanen the shot in, and the kicker of Kotai, and he knocks it away. Augustana gets it out the center. Karodiak waits for his guys to get back on side. Good weave through, but he loses the puck inevitably into the O zone. Now a centering pass to Matsui. Matsui, the highest scorer for Augustana this season. Colton Friesen making a bid for that as well with his assist on the Hayden Hennon goal yesterday. Full sell there by Brett Foe to try and break up the play, but he can't do it. It's out to center with Owen Bond, and Langus will get on the ice now as Passanen lead passes up for O'Hara. Wears a bump, but he won't be able to. I'm sorry, that was Adam Zonka. And then we'll get a whistle, and I believe a face-off in central ice. .6:30 left to play in the first period. Still no score. 7 shots on goal for the Vikings, 6 for Bowling Green, and some pretty even quality chances on both sides. Face-off won by Augustana. It's their 6th of the game. 7 for Bowling Green as they lead in that category, led by almost double yesterday against Augustana, especially late when they really needed faceoffs. They got them. Fortunately, got no offensive production from them, but it's a good sign that they're not dropping off the faceoff category. Scardina, a leader in that department, who got the puck there. Back up to the blue line. Sternberg on the right wing. Pass across to the left wing at the point. McKinley with the shot in. Redirected in front, and Kotai will hit it with the kicker and hold on to the puck and freeze play for a second.
Talking about BG's face-off percentage, how good they've been all year. Currently 14th in the NCAA and leading the CCHA.
It's been 3 years like this for the Falcons where face-off winning percentage has been such a strong suit. You could argue one of the strongest advantages Bowling Green has over the other teams is consistently winning the face-off battle. I can count on my hand the amount of times they've lost the face-off battle in the 2 years that I've been broadcasting for Bowling Green hockey. Waters with the puck back down to the goal line, taking out the left wing. Ryan O'Hara with the puck in front. Trying to hold on to it is Ryan O'Hara, but it's knocked away from him finally. Duran will get some open ice as he holds onto the puck. Trying to get it back out to the blue line, but he's pressed up by defensemen from Augustana. Ryan O'Hara goes for a pass into Waters. Waters is forced down to the ice away from the puck. Maybe could have got a call there, but nothing there to speak of from the referee, who has kept the whistle in his pocket most of this first period. Under 5.5 left to play in the first. Kotai will cover it up and out for another face-off. Now some chippiness happening in front of the student section. That's where you don't want to push a Bowling Green player.
Here's the animosity we want to see from CCHA games.
Nothing will come from it, and we'll just drop puck to the the left of Josh Kotai. You know, I think Augustana is missing a huge opportunity with these jerseys to use one of the best logos in the CCHA. I mean, the Viking logo is sweet, and they're not using it at all on this jersey. It reads Augustana across the chest, all navy blue, yellow, and white piping, but I think the Augustana logo is one of the best. Maybe up there with the Beeve from Bemidji State. Pretty good logo there as well. Locked up on the left wing boards of the Falcons. The Vikings come away with the puck at their own goal line, trying to turn it back over. It's Niedermeyer there playing pest against the Augustana Vikings. Centering and wearing a hit is Niedermeyer, and he gets it away. Lead pass up a little bit long for Garrett Drotz, and that'll be an icing against the team from South Dakota. That was good to outlet pass, I think, along the right wing. It was defended pretty well by the Falcons, but good idea, good lead pass. 5 minutes left to play in the first.
Speaking of missed opportunities with jerseys, BG wearing their all whites again tonight. I want to see them have their retros at least once here this season.
I don't think Willie likes them, which is unfortunate because I love those jerseys, and I wish they had orange away ones as well instead of the Browns. I mean, the Browns are classic. You won a national championship in them, but, you know, it's nice to see some different things every once in a while. Foe with the puck out to the left wing, and Grant. Grant is taken away by Zonka. Zonka working in, and he's spun out by Easton Young. Is back out to the blue line. Norris getting it away, but to a blue jersey. Now Foe will skate all the way in there. Quite a fast skater. And a little bit of a problem with his passing. He skates with his head down quite a lot of the time, but he can blow by a lot of guys, and you get him some open ice, he's lethal. One of the guys that always takes shootouts. That shows you his skill set right there, speed, versatility. Foe knocked down his Zonka. He was playing the puck, so that shouldn't be a penalty, and it's not going to be, although it was a big hit in front of the student section of Bowling Green. This shot in is rejected by Kotai, knocked to the back wall, and Matsui will take it away up to center. Matsui will flip it up and try and get this one in front. Stover will play it with his stick and knock it away from two defensemen from Bowling Green and Peyton Matsui. Ben Trombley will hold on to the puck. Not the biggest player in the world. Goes back out to the blue line. Baumgartner on the near side. Still working back in. Emerson turns the puck over. And Brett Foe will try and poke it outside the zone. Baumgartner keeps it in. It's Trombley again. Trombley with a wrist shot in front. Stover. It's knocked back into his chest, and he'll hold on. Hot Stove continues with 3:27 left to play in the first period and no score. We might be running out of natural gas in the world with how long this stove has run, because Christian Stover has been immaculate as of the last couple of games. Even in 3 games where he allowed 3, 4, and 3, he played great and not a lot of defensive help.
It's not safe. It's a fire hazard, frankly.
Yeah, frankly. Leaving it on for this long.
Smokey would be disappointed.
Melting the ice over there in the crease. We're almost down to the Bear paint at this point.
Smokey the Bear would be disappointed.
Smokey the Bear would be disappointed. Passanen rings it back around to his D-man partner, Ben Wozni. Ben Trombley looking in as well as the forecheck for Augustana. Not the best forecheck in the world. They don't really pressure all that much. They kind of let Bowling Green do what they're going to do. They've done that a lot of this season as well. This is a low-angle shot in by Scardina. Scardina giving a shot there to the Ben Trombley. Another shot in. Martin with the centering pass does not connect. The passing outside of the O-zone for both sides has been pretty clean in this game, but it seems when they get in the O-zone, they just can't hold on to the puck for long enough to make a good pass and put it tape to tape. Waters takes it up the left wing. Lead pass up into Ryan O'Hara. O'Hara loses it off the glass and out of the zone. Norris will glove and drop. He'll kick this one back away from the defender. Now into the center. Shot, Meerman redirected. Colton Friesen takes it away, looking for a pass out to the blue line. Gets it to McIntyre. McIntyre's blocked by Waters. He lost a step after he got that one, but still went on the forecheck there. Friesen is pressed up. Stjernberg tries to settle it down. He can't. Meerman back out to the blue line. McIntyre. McIntyre is taken away by Stjernberg. Stjernberg ranging up the right wing. Down into the zone. He's the first white jersey in for the Falcons. O'Hara chasing it now. He'll wear a hit, as he's not afraid to do. Quite a confident player, Ryan O'Hara. Knows that he can do a lot of things, and he does a lot of things. Broke his point streak yesterday, as did all of the Falcons, as they failed to score. And still a great offensive output game for Bowling Green. you had to score 0, you'd want to score 0 in the manner that they did, because they had great offensive chances, had great shifts, didn't miss on a lot of opportunities aside from the 4 power plays they failed to score on. Niedermeyer goes for a bump, fighting with the puck behind Kotai. Range back around Niedermeyer, centering pass to score! First time in the weekend for Bowling Green, and they take a 1-0 lead. Jackson Niedermeyer into Seth Fighton, needs to fight. And we have a 1-0 game in regulation for the first time this weekend.
That is Seth Fighton's first goal of the year. Talked about how he's been scratched for a while. Has earned his way back into the roster, and he repays Coach Willie's confidence with a goal.
You know, I may have reverse jinxed it with the caster curse, and I said that that's not the offensive production line, but they get the only goal for Bowling Green in the weekend so far as they hold on to a 1-0 lead with less than a minute left to play in the first period. This will be an icing against the Falcons as the press box will try and sort out who got assists, and the time of the goal is 18:51, the time of the goal in the first period, and assisted, as I said, by Jackson Niedermeyer. It's Niedermeyer's 4th assist of the season and his 5th total point. And as Nathan said a second ago, the first goal of the season for Seth Fighton in his 3rd point. In the grad student's Bowling Green career, he's now up to 17 goals and 10 assists. Centering pass taken away. Seth Fighton getting applause here from the Falcon fans as his name is read aloud. 30 seconds left in the first period. Bowling Green on top, 1-0. Up the left wing, Baumgartner leaves it to Drotz. Drotz with a centering pass, but the guys are a little bit too wide for that. Stover lays out completely to stop it, as ranging all the way in was Simon Falk. Falk, a bigger forward, 6'3", right winger. Shot in, Duran gets his stick on it as well. Augustana takes it away, the Vikings into center. Baumgartner, he's ranging forward a lot. Falk wears a hit, knocked away from Stover. Less than a second left to play in the first, and the horn will sound with a 1-0 lead for Bowling Green. The first time they've led after a period this weekend, and actually the first time.
And some post-whistle extracurriculars.
First time we've seen that this weekend, actually, to that extent.
Peyton Matsui is livid with a Falcon right now. And actually, there's a couple Augustana players.
It's like they're talking a little bit. Doesn't look like any penalties are going to be enforced on either sides as it happened after the whistle. But for the first time in this weekend, either Augustana or Bowling Green is leading after a period, not counting the overtime goal by Hayden Hennon last night in the Augustana 1-0 overtime win. We'll unpack it in the Rick Crow First Intermission Report in a few moments. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Media Sports Network is finally back on the road with BGSU Hockey. Make sure to catch the voice of Falcon Hockey, Ben Korak, on the call for every BGSU game this season on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com. Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com. Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
This is Chaz McNeil, host of The Swoop.
And Raymond Cotis, the executive producer of The Swoop.
The Swoop is BG Falcon Media's sports talk show about all things BGSU athletics.
A rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts will join Chaz every episode to discuss BGSU sports.
After a 6-year absence, the show was revived last semester in collaboration with BG24 and Falcon Media Sports Network.
After pausing for the break, new episodes will air every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel, beginning with our first episode on Tuesday, January 28th.
Hi, Ziggy.
And stay swooping.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU Women's Swim competes in the Butler Invitational in Indianapolis, Indiana on Sunday, January 26th at noon. Falcon Media Sports Network's Wyatt Broadbar will have the recap on bgfalconmedia.com. It feels good to have a lead heading into the Rick Crow first intermission report, and that's what Bowling Green has right now, 1-0. For the first time this weekend, a Bowling Green or Augustana player has scored a goal in regulation, and it feels really good to, one, have goal scoring in regulation play, and to two, it be a Falcon. Seth Fighton with the goal, 18:51 late in that first period, assisted by Jackson Niedermeyer, his 4th assist of the season, and Ville Emanen, his 8th assist of the season. Ben Korak here with Nathan Burkett from the Falcon Media Sports Network on the Rick Crow first intermission report. Longtime BGSU hockey fan and listener of WBGU 88.1 FM. Nathan, it was really nice to see a goal. What did you see on that play from Niedermeyer and Fighton?
I saw Niedermeyer make a pass right to the slot, and Coach Willie talked about if you're going to score a goal, especially against a good goalie like Kotai, you gotta find a way to get to the middle of the ice and get in the blue paint, and that's what Seth Fighton did there. He got in there, he got a good quick shot off. Kotai didn't have time to react, and we have a 1-goal lead.
And we see so much emphasis on shot volume from Willie. He said it before the season started, and he continues to say it every game, that shot volume is key. The production has been there a lot of the time from the Falcons, and a lot of that production is coming right in front of the crease for Bowling Green. Seth Fighton playing the spot that Brody Waters has found so much success this season, right on the blue paint in front, just redirected that shot/pass from Jackson Niedermeyer that ended up falling the right way for the Falcons for the first time this weekend. Josh Kotai not really too much more that he could have done on that play, but he's also got 10 saves to go along with the goal allowed and above 900 save percentage today. Christian Stover, 9 saves, no goals allowed. And just looking at the shot chart for Bowling Green, it seems like they're taking shots from more prime locations as well.
Absolutely, and Coach Williams talks about got to find the blue paint. As a player, I can understand how it sometimes can be a little scary. You don't always want to go there because as someone who played hockey for a while and as someone who's watched hockey for a while, murder's practically legal there. And we've seen of the physicality in this game. There hasn't been a lot of huge hits, especially from Augustana. There's not a lot from BG, but when Augustana is laying the big hits, they're laying them in the blue paint. Because, again, that's where you can get away with basically anything.
You certainly can, and another thing that influenced the game a lot yesterday that we haven't seen so far, penalties, Nathan. We have not yet seen a penalty. We have not yet seen a power play chance for Bowling Green, but we have seen offensive production already, more than we've seen before in this series, and that's really nice to see that, one, BG staying clean, and two, able to produce without the help of the power play. Going into the second period, I'd really like to see them continue with their shot volume. They do lead in shots on goal now 11-9, and total shots they are just trailing by 1, but they got to keep putting pucks on the net and hoping that something can happen in front. I had a couple of arguments with last year's color guy, Nick Bowers, on this. He was definitely a quantity guy. I was definitely a quality guy. He kind of switched me over, and watching the way Willie's found success with the offense this year, I think I'm becoming a quantity guy as well, and we got to see that from the Falcons going forward.
Absolutely. I would say, I'll be honest, I'm mostly a quantity guy. Because that being said, you can't just spend the entire game shooting from the point or shooting from bad angles, but if you keep at it, eventually one of those quantity chances is going to find your quality opportunity via rebounds, via second opportunities, and also it just wears down your other team's goalie.
Seth Vighton, first period goal in the last 2 minutes. Niedermeyer and Emanen the assists on it. Bowling Green leads 1-0 over Augustana. 3 other CCHA games going on this weekend. Minnesota State and Ferris State. Minnesota State caught a 2-0 shutout win over Minnesota State yesterday, and it looked real good in the first period as they took a 2-0 lead over Minnesota State very early. 2 goals in the first 5 minutes of play for Ferris State, and then Minnesota State showed why they're the number 16 team in the nation. Adam Isley, Caden Bolson, Ralph Spurgmanis, and Caden Bolson on the power play again scored since, and Minnesota State leads 4-2, and I can't imagine Alex Tracy is going to give up 2 more goals to tie this one and send it to overtime. So I think it's going to be the second split weekend in a row for Minnesota State, but that's good for Bowling Green, trying to knock them off at the top of the list.
Absolutely. We played Minnesota State earlier in Mankato. You were at the game. I was in the board op for that one. And luckily for the Falcons, we do not have to face them anymore, which means that we can kind of just slowly try and creep up on them. Minnesota State, I'll say with BG, with Christian Stover, and Augustana with Josh Cote, Alex Tracy, those are the 3 big goalies in the CCHA, and those are the 3 who were included in the watch list for the Mike Richter Award for the best college hockey goalie. So, yeah, it can be kind of scary sometimes going to or playing in general against Minnesota State when you know that if you let in probably more than 3 goals, you're not going to probably have a good night.
Yeah, and they've already allowed 4 to Minnesota State, so it's not looking good for Ferris State in late. They're in the third period. Still 19 minutes left to play, but that's a tall order against one of the best goaltenders in the CCHA and in the nation. Another team ahead of Bowling Green currently, as they sit at 4th. Michigan Tech sits at 3rd, and they are probably going to complete a win over Northern Michigan. They lead 3-0 right now with 19 minutes left to play. Logan Morrell scored a goal. Ryder Matter scored another goal, and Max Koskapirti, shorthanded, scored a goal in the second period, and they lead 3-0, looking to shut out Northern Michigan and take a sweep of the Wildcats this weekend in rivalry up in Marquette. Bowling Green also plays Northern in Marquette later next week. I'll be on the call up there in Marquette Friday and Saturday, 7 and 6 p.m. And then Bemidji State and St. Thomas tied at 1 after the first period. Same start time as this game, Bowling Green and Augustana. Ryan O'Neill and Jackson Judding for Bemidji State. Ryan O'Neill from St. Thomas each scored goals. Judding on the power play. That's all the scoring through the first period, and tied 1-1 between St. Thomas and Bemidji State, who are just battling to get a home playoff, but it's not looking good for them. Augustana currently sits at 1st, Minnesota State 2nd, Michigan Tech 3rd, Bowling Green 4th, Lake Superior State 5th, St. Thomas 6th, Bemidji State 7th, Ferris State 8th, and Northern Michigan 9th. As of right now, Northern Michigan is not going to make the Mason Cup playoffs until St. Thomas finally leaves the CCHA, and then it'll go back to all 8 teams making it. That's all around the CCHA portion of the Rick Crow First Intermission Report. In about 3 minutes, we'll bring you back the puck drop of the second and intermediate frame of hockey between Bowling Green and Augustana, and hopefully they can extend their lead one more in regulation today. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU women's track heads to Ypsilanti, Michigan for the Bob Parks Memorial on Saturday, January 25th at 10 a.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Holden Ruck will have a recap of the event on bgfalconmedia.com.
To listen to replays of recent Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcasts, tune into WBGU 88.1 FM every weekday morning from midnight to 3 a.m.
Falcon women's basketball returns to the Stroh Center to battle the Akron Zips on Wednesday, January 29th. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Caden Knapp and Foster Rosti at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for tip-off on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconmedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
The Slater Family Ice Arena pretty darn full today for Bowling Green versus Augustana. Very exciting to see such a great crowd today, and very exciting that they got to see a regulation goal scored the first time this weekend. The only other goal scored was an overtime winner for Augustana last night that took them 2 points in the CCHA. Bowling Green came away with 1, and they got to hold on to this one to take 3 more points in what's becoming a real tight race at the top. Ben Korak here with Nathan Burkett from the Falcon Media Sports Network. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. And for highlight packages and rebroadcasts of all the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts, including the Battle of I-75 rebroadcasts that are up on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel, go to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel and view those. We'll also have highlight packages of today's game. You get to see the Seth Fighton goal that was scored in the final 2 minutes of the first period, and hopefully some more scoring happening from Bowling Green later in the second. Nathan Burkett, do you have any final thoughts before we drop puck here in a second? What do you want to see from Bowling Green heading into this middle frame?
I want to see just more of the same, but overall I want to see a little bit more of the pushing and shoving we saw at the end of the first period.
Even more aggression.
Absolutely. That's what the CCHA is known for.
That it is. One of the better things to watch about it. Good thing we have Gustav Sternberg on our side and not any other team, because it'd be a scary look for Bowling Green if you got the freight train of the Goose staring after you. Quinn Emerson puts a hit on there now, taking offense to what I just said, saying he can put on a hit as well. Taking it up the right wing is Colton Friesen. Friesen turns it back around toward the blue line. Now a shot in there in front is taken away. Friesen with another shot is blocked at the point by a Bowling Green player. Back out to the blue line. Bowling Green with the puck. It's Max Martin. Martin dumps it in and goes for a change. And it'll be the first line of forward end defense for Bowling Green. Up to center. Oh, big hit there from Sternberg. Forces the puck free. O'Hara across. And it'll get back into the zone with Dalton Norris holding onto it. Pick the stick update. Nobody has yet to score any points on the forward lens. Christian Stover retains all 3 of his points for Artie Abrego. And Lucas Kleinmeyer, Tyler Kavlitz, myself, and Nathan each have nothing. Ryan O'Hara crossing pass and just behind Ben Duran, who was being held onto by Simon Falk. Perfect defense played by Falk to shut off the passing lane. Baumgartner across the left wing, Mobley up, hit the stick in the zone and back out. A little bit long for Ryan O'Hara. He'll be the first one there, looking for a pass across to Emanen. Emanen in front with a slap, and it wasn't gonna fall as the stick got up from Kotai, and he knocks it out the zone. Passing in across to Wozni. Wozni up to Fighton. Fighton gets a stick on it. A goal in this game, the first of the season for him, and the 17th of his career with Bowling Green, I believe. Seth Fighton, a grad student, Didsbury, Alberta, played for Spruce Grove in the Alberta Junior Hockey League.
Won a championship with Spruce Grove.
That is also a fact about Seth Fighton. One of the older players, one of the veterans on this roster, one of the leaders as well, as he did not get the captain of their alternate title. Still a very valuable player for Bowling Green. Knows his role and he performs it perfectly. Foe looks for a pass. It's a bank off to Eric Parker. Parker at the goal line, centering just long for what looked to be Jaden Grant, and now a breakaway for Joey Del Greco. Del Greco on the right wing. He leaves it back for Matsui. Matsui toe drags it down to the goal line. Centering shot, saved by Stover. Beautiful play by Stover to hold his ground, and even a really good offensive play from Augustana. Zonka, backhand try in. Another shot from Bowling Green in front and knocked away by Kotai. It'll clear back down to the D zone. Foe will have to chase it as he was calling for a change. So he'll get it to a D-man and head off. No, now he's taking it all the way up. He's on slow legs, though, you can already tell. Dumps it in, goes for a change. Falcons will have to chase. It's Emerson. Hit from McKinley. McKinley forces it away to Easton Young. Young dealing with a stick there on the ice as well as a Falcon lost it. Scardina, big hit. Still on the ice is the Viking. Now finally gets up. Scardina was in it for blood on that one. Ben Trombley takes it away down the right side. Up for Bershoff. Bershoff presses into the boards now. It looks like he caught the body of the Falcon a little bit low, but nothing there. Gloved by Stover in front of his own student section now. And 16:30 left to play in the second. We have a 1-0 Bowling Green lead.
We should add where, for pick a stick, we should add you get a quarter of a point for every hit. If so, I take Yusuf Sternberg.
You know, I think the NCAA really needs to put in a hit rule because the teams keep track of it. It would be a little bit more work for the statisticians here, but I think it's an important part of the game that they just don't record. Sternberg, I think, would be one of the nation leaders in that department.
Easily top 5.
False start against Augustana. Friesen will have to be kicked out, and heading in is Brett Meerman, the left winger. Meerman loses the draw. Bowling Green's Tommy passing and looking for a pass. It's up to O'Hara. O'Hara was a little bit turned around on the play and got a stick on it. Duran did the same, but the Vikings take it up with Friesen into the zone. O'Hara holds on. Pass up to Waters. Is a little bit short for him, but kicked away by another Falcon. Looking all the way in. Duran with a shot into the slot and held onto by Kotai. Oh, there's a hit there from Svednal as pretty decently far after the play. He gave a shove to Ben Duran. Duran gives one back and we'll have a stoppage.
He feels as if Duran pushed him into his own goaltender there.
Maybe snowed the goaltender a little bit as well, though none of it was purposeful. The scoring line, Eamon and Niedermeyer and Fighton back onto the ice. The first line of forwards was chosen by the Falcon Media Sports Network for Pick the Stick. Duran for Lucas Kleinmeyer, O'Hara for Tyler Kavlitz, and Brody Waters for you, Nathan. I chose Dalton Norris to get one on a power play, possibly. Christian Stover chose by Artie Abrego, who currently sits in the lead with 3 points on the 0 goals given up by the senior goaltender. Falk dumps it up. BG with the puck. Backhand pass around the goalie. Turns the puck over, and then blowing a tire is Garrett Drotz. Hayden Hennon looking for the pass. Brother of Tyler Hennon that's been scratched the last 2 days. Falk with a low angle shot, just trying to get a redirection in front, but it won't get there into the crease. Even in a pass back around to Wozni. Haven't seen a lot of Karodiak or McKinley. so far in this period, and we're 15 and a half minutes left into the second. Lead pass up. Did he get a stick on it? No, he did not. He's a little bit frustrated with that as he wanted to change. But 15-20 left to play in the second. 1-0 Bowling Green. They'll get a new set on, and Augustana won't.
We're now seeing McKinley take the ice for the Falcons with Sternberg.
This will be a good spot for Bowling Green. They put the scorers back out on the ice. McKinley and Sternberg had been a pair earlier in the season. And because the Falcon bench is on the scoring side of the ice for them now, they can get changes off easy, but they lose the face-off. Augustana gets it outside the zone quick, and it's not going to matter as they'll just dump it down and go for a change. Del Greco playing the instigator, getting his guys on and off cleanly. They get everybody but Del Greco on and off. BG with the puck now. Brody Waters takes it up the left wing, working his way all the way in. Still there in front. Duran with a shot. Kotai saves it. It's still in front. The goal comes off. He forced that off, but it's going to be a stoppage of play.
And now we have some
Sternberg is getting tied up with a couple of players on the near side corner. Bond being one of them. O'Hara talking. I think that was a defenseman from Augustana that knocked the goal post off.
Oh, it definitely was.
Just to stop the play, as the goalie, Josh Kotai, was way outside of the crease. We're going to take a step back for legal ID. Listen to BGSU Hockey, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey there, I'm Ben Korak, the voice of Falcon Hockey, and you are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for BGSU Hockey.
Still don't know what happened. There's unfortunately not going to be any consequence for the defenseman knocking it over. And under 15 left to play in the second period. The faceoff will leave the zone. Frustrating for the Falcons as they had a great opportunity. Maybe a smart play by the Vikings. Jaden Grant wins the faceoff. McKinley across to Sternberg. Sternberg leaves it in. McIntyre will dump it down. He'll catch a body from Brett Foe. The pass up is outside the blue line. Trying to chip back in. The Falcons can't touch it as it'll be an offsides, but it'll be a whistle and an offsides anyway. 1-0 Bowling Green on top. Only regulation scored goal in this series was Seth Fighton's. Low scoring affair between these two. Very evenly matched teams, I would say, as well. Very deep. Everybody can score. Everybody's got an opportunity. Grant wins the faceoff. Is back to Norris. Norris across to Sternberg's. Passing with a deep shot and chips off the stick of Kotai and into the netting, so that'll force the faceoff into the O-zone of the Falcons. Seen some different lines out there today. The forward lines have pretty much remained intact, with the defensemen have been kind of mixed up. Norris and Passanen out there now, first and his second line. We've seen McKinley and Sternberg. We've seen Karodiak and Wozni. We've seen about everything on the defensive end in this game.
We've seen Karodiak and Sternberg, which from a hitting standpoint is kind of scary.
Certainly is. Two energetic, physical players. A little bit long for Emerson. Norris back to Scardina. Scardina with the puck. Trombley tries to get it away. Is dumped back in. Not a lot of time spent at the blue line for the Bowling Green players today. A whistle and a coverage by Kotai, and the fans don't like it as they don't think he held on to it long enough. 14 minutes left to play in the second.
Seems like even Kotai is a little confused as he's talking with the ref.
Yeah, he was maybe waiting to kick it back out into play. There was a Falcon in his face, so I don't know what that would have gained him.
Maybe in a situation where you kind of hover your glove above the puck, not quite covering just to see if you should, but ref called the play dead.
Quick on the trigger was the referee, Andy Thackerberry and Andrew Rasky, the two referees. Tay Merritt and Patrick Giles, the linesman. Slap shot in by Wozni, kicked away by Kotai. Waters with the puck. Friesen presses him up. Out to Baumgartner. Baumgartner gets it outside to Meerman. Meerman back to Friesen. Friesen behind his goal, where Augustana will try and get it away to another blue jersey. Wozny's there to keep it in. Rudrud is back with Waters blowing a tire and turning it over. Unfortunate turn for the sophomore high-scoring player for Bowling Green. Waters with the puck now. Good positioning. He's being held onto there. No penalty is going to be called against him. Finally wears a hit as he's really fighting with Baumgartner there. Baumgartner gives him a cross check. He's pinning the puck against the board, so Baumgartner's got to work in there to get it away. He does get it away. Around to the Falcon. Looking for a wraparound pass. He does back out to the blue line. Karodiak with a shot in is high. Bouncing around. O'Hara takes it. Is poked away by a defenseman from the Vikings. Fighting in now. Fighting pressed down to the ice. It's going to be a delayed penalty against Augustana. They're going to get the goaltender off. Back out to the blue line. Karodiak. Karodiak turns it back around. Still with good stick handles. In the center. Shot kicked away by Kotai. Into the center. Held onto by Rudrud. And we're going to get the first penalty of the game against Augustana. It's going to be Colton Friesen. I think they're going to get him for cross-checking.
I feel like maybe a trip.
Trip as well. He did get a trip, so I saw a different part of that play. Oh, yes, it was the Seth Fighton, with Seth Fighton laying on the goal line there. So a good opportunity for Bowling Green. 12:49 left to play in the second period. They go for 2 and look to convert the first power play of the series. Durant tries to get a stick on it, but it was iced back down by Augustana too fast after they won the faceoff. Emanen came right off the bench and was in there deep. Onsides for the Falcons. Scardina back around to Foe. Foe digs it off. 2 guys in his face, one on the other side, and there's a shorthanded breakaway for Bischoff. Hunter Bischoff takes it down, is spun away by Bowling Green. The pass is just a little bit wide, and Bowling Green shut down that shorthanded chance fast, but they've expelled 30 seconds off of the power play.
Good job by Ben Wozni there to get back and break up that play.
Up the right wing, turning it to the inside. Scardina turns it back over to Zemer. Zemer, an alternate captain, over to Foe. Foe's in there as well. Scardina to Duran. Duran will hold possession now. Back up to Emanen. Emanen on the right wing. Down to the red line. Around the other side of Kotai. Duran will go back out to the blue line. Wozni with the puck. Back in, knocked down. Duran in there as well. Del Greco will knock it back down, and Stover will have to play the puck now with Matsui in his face. Waited till the last second, then got it to Foe. Foe skating around Matsui. Takes it up the left wing now. Still looking for a pass. Way across to the other side. Stjernberg shot off the post. Gustav Stjernberg. What a shot on the wrister, ranging all the way in. O'Hara goes back out to the blue line. It's Norris across the blue line to Stjernberg. Stjernberg on the right wing now. Back to Norris. Norris into O'Hara. O'Hara, a shot is blocked by Martin in front accidentally. Back across. Waters goes for the body. Augustana with the puck now with 15 seconds left to play, and it's flipped down the ice. We're going to get a chance for one short rush for Bowling Green before Colton Friesen comes out of the box. Taking it up, Norris, leaving it back for O'Hara. 3 seconds left. Bowling Green will get probably one chance. Knocked down out of the air to O'Hara. That was closer than I think anybody thought it was going to be. Langus in there. Nace Langus gets it away to a white jersey. Now to Hunter Bischoff. Bischoff across to the other side. Colton Friesen. Friesen out of the box is playing. Back across. Another shot in. Blocked by a Falcon. Full send out for this one is tipped up into the bench of Bowling Green, and we'll have a face-off in central ice with another Augustana penalty kill. That's their 5th of the weekend, and they have yet to give up a power play goal.
I mean, we got real close there with Stjernberg, but no dice.
That would have been a big goal to take. Go up 2 in a low-scoring affair. 10:30 left to play in the first. Next stoppage will probably be our media timeout. Another shot in wide right of the goal. Stjernberg not giving the shot on goal. Now here's a breakaway. Quinn Emerson down the right wing, looking in, makes a move in wide right, tries to center it back in front. Niedermeyer puts the pressure on. We're going to get a penalty, I believe, against Augustana. The hand is in the air for the Viking. McIntyre, I think, is going to be the one to head off as he was possibly tripping up Quinn Emerson. I don't know what the call was.
It was definitely on Emerson. May have gone with a slash on like the hands.
Didn't really see a slash on that one. Not to say that it didn't happen.
Looks like
looks like Jaden Grant's going to head off as well. So we're going to get offsetting in 4-on-4 hockey. Oh, we're going to get another one. So we're going to get a retaliation on both sides, I believe. Zemer is going to head off as well. So we're going to get 2 Vikings and a Falcon.
I believe it'll be Zemer and Grant for the back and forth.
So cross-checking to Grant, roughing to Zemer, and what did he say? Cross-checking or
hooking?
McIntyre took a hooking on Quinn Emerson. To be honest, I think that was kind of a weak call, but we're going to get a 5-on-4 Bowling Green advantage.
So the Grant and Zemer penalties offset 5-on-4.
And they will not be allowed to leave until the next clean stoppage, I believe. Clean stoppage after their power play expires, I should say.
O'Hara and Waters and Martin will be the starting forwards for VG on the power play with Norris and Sternberg on D.
No centerman. O'Hara's going to take the draw, although he is good in that department. 3-0 yesterday. This one is won promptly by Augustana, as I said that, and it's iced back down. 2-minute power play for Bowling Green as they head on to 2 in a row. You need to get one of these eventually. 2-0 lead might be a death sentence in the way scoring has been in this series. O'Hara to the right wing. Sternberg ranging in. Another shot in front, and it's off the stick of Mosley. Luke Mosley back across. Waters taking it out. Another shot in. Martin was there to clean it up, but it was ricocheted away from him. Sternberg out to the blue line and Norris. Norris out to the right wing. O'Hara back to Norris in the center. Norris to Sternberg. Slap shot saved by Kotai with the shoulder. Norris back down to the goal line at O'Hara. O'Hara tries to get it back to Norris, but it's blocked by a Viking, and it'll clear outside the blue line. Norris will have to retreat.
BG will go for a change.
Minute 5 left on the power play. 2 Vikings in the box. 1 Falcon in the box. Jaden Grant not too present on the power play, so not a massive loss for Bowling Green, but Zemer's a defenseman that plays a lot on the penalty kill. And McIntyre as well is taking out your third line of defensemen. Down in front, backhand chance for Scardina is wide right of the goal. Kotai was there to try and shut it off, but it was a good chance for Bowling Green. Wozni in the middle is going to look for a shot, redirected by Emanen in front to the back wall. And it's going to be a shorthanded chance for Hunter Bischoff now as he ranges down the left wing. Augustana looking for a chance in front, and a goal for Augustana, shorthanded with 24 seconds left on the power play. He will not come out of the box, but he'll tie the game up as Hunter Bischoff has had 2 shorthanded opportunities. That one a beautiful pass, and I believe it was in to Joey Del Greco.
Del Greco went forehand, backhand, deked Stover out of his pads on that one, which is something we don't usually see out of Stover, but
8:32 left to play in the second. 24 seconds left on the power play. Nobody will come out of the box as it was scored by the shorthanded team. 11:25 the time of the goal in the second period. Bad one to take for Bowling Green. Hennon and Bischoff the assists. Hennon now with 2 points on the weekend. Bischoff, Del Greco, and Friesen all with 1. The pass is just long and dumped back outside the zone. Bowling Green will have to get back on sides with 5 seconds left to play in the power play. In, Augustana ices it back down, and that'll kill off 1 with the next stoppage, bringing Jaden Grant and Evan McIntyre out of the box. Pass up to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer back to Scardina. Scardina pass across to Niedermeyer, and just long for number 12. And now a rush the other way for Augustana. Odd man favor of the Falcons, and Ace Langus on the right wing. That was a chance and a half for Bowling Green. It was just a little bit long for Niedermeyer, tried to fill it. The shot in, Friesen back around to Langus. Langus is long for him. Emerson looking for a pass. He gets it up to center. Niedermeyer will put a stick on it and stop it from being an icing against Bowling Green. 7:20 left to play in the third. High in the air, Korodiak knocks it down. Avoids the hand pass to Parker. Korodiak and Parker, the third line of defensemen for Bowling Green. Zonka gets a stick on it. The second line hasn't played in quite a while for the Falcons. out to the blue line of Bowling Green end. Now into the left wing, still trying to get it outside, and it'll go into the bench of Bowling Green, and a face-off inside of the zone as we will get immediate timeout, and both players, Jaden Grant and Evan McIntyre, out of the box. 6:56 left to play in the second period. 1-1. Bowling Green, a goal in the first and a shorthanded one from Joey Del Greco here in the second. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU women's basketball will travel to Toledo for the Battle of I-75 on Saturday, January 25th. Listen to Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer and Kaden Knapp at 1:45 for pregame and 2 p.m. for tip-off on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BG men's basketball travels 2 hours east to face Kent State on Tuesday, January 28th. Listen into Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavelitz and Artie Abrego at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for tip-off on Falcon Radio.
Joey Del Greco's 6th goal of the season is a big one, short-handed. It's high up with Bowling Green. Hayden Hennon, his second point of the weekend in the overtime goal yesterday. He had an assist on the Del Greco goal today. And Hunter Bischoff with his first point of the weekend and 11th assist of the season. 5-on-5 back on the ice. Under 7 minutes left to play in the second period when we get our immediate timeout. And 1-1 the score. Look at the shots on goal, though, Nathan. 21-13 in favor of Bowling Green. Those power plays have been beneficial to their momentum, but they still haven't been able to find that goal.
I mean, yeah, just it's hard to beat Josh Kotai once. To beat him twice, it's going to be a little even harder, but they have to now if they want to get this win.
Face-off won by Augustana. Actually, Ben Duran's stick broke. That might be why he lost it. He grabs it and goes right back into play. Back out to Duran, and it'll be taken away by Augustana. A 3-on-2 rush unless Duran can get back. He's trying, and he gets back in time. Augustana pass across to Baumgartner. Baumgartner out to the blue line. A shot in again. Stover in front. He saved it and kicked it away to the half wall behind. He was a little bit wild there. I don't know if he got a stick on it. He was playing the puck, so it's not going to be an icing against Bowling Green. Poke check, back across. Parker will be there in the Falcon zone. Up to Emerson. Emerson bumped by McIntyre. Puts a hit on Zemer now. Zemer and McIntyre, the third line of defense, both in the box a second ago. That took a defensive line out of the penalty kill for Augustana, which they killed cleanly again. 6 minutes left to play in the second, gloved by Kotai and held on.
I want to point out a bit of sportsmanship I noticed. Way back on that Niedermeyer opportunity, Niedermeyer lost his stick and lost his footing as well, went to the boards. The stick was right in front of Kotai. He could have knocked it away or done something. He instead held it up for Niedermeyer to run by and grab it. So good sportsmanship from Kotai.
Good to see in the CCHA. We see a perfect blend of aggression and some fighting and some chippiness here and there, and then some sportsmanship here and there as well. Niedermeyer up to Fighton. Fighton, he can calm the puck down, but he can't really do it. Easton Young gets it away out to Friesen and into neutral ice to a white jersey. Fighton back to Karodiak. Karodiak and Parker played a lot in this game, probably even for the most minutes played, although Norris and Sternberg have played on both power plays. Out to Karodiak. Across, another shot in. Nabbed out of the air of Kotai. Knocked down in front by Emanen and Niedermeyer, redirected, and quick reaction from Kotai. He's been working on those tennis ball drills.
Niedermeyer, after that, spent a good 5 seconds just staring at Kotai in disbelief.
5:15 left to play in the second. That one had goal written all over it. It was just like a lot of the chances this weekend for BG is picked clean out of the air.
Signed, sealed, and delivered until Kotai got the veto.
Matsui in against Duran. One by Duran out to the blue line. Passanen goes in. We're seeing a lot of that today. Instead of going along the blue line, they're going into the zone. Maybe trying to force some more offensive presence. Haven't got a lot of benefit from it today. Del Greco ranges in, takes the puck into the O zone, onsides just barely. Back across, and now taken away by the Falcons. Up the right wing. Into O'Hara. O'Hara pins the puck against the boards. Taken away by Nace Langus. Langus discs it across to the right wing. Now to Wozni. Wozni goes toward Duran, and it'll go into the bench of the Vikings, and we'll have a whistle stop at 4:30 left to play in the second. So instead of BG being able to convert on their 2 power plays that they've had in this period, they've allowed a shorthanded goal. So negative net on the power plays today, including 0 for 4 on the power plays yesterday. Even though they've got good chances, just none of them are falling. Ben Trombley works it in on the goal line in the O zone. Back out to Zemer. Behind the goal, Stjernberg sweeps it away. Out to Zonka. Zonka, tic-tac pass across to Grant. Grant back to Zonka. Zonka crosses it to Foe, a little bit long for him. Norris another shot in with Zonka in front, and Kotai holds on. And now they're tangled up. Zonka and McIntyre. McIntyre's been feisty in this game. He's already gone off to the box for roughing. And he'll head off here as he got tangled up with Zonka. Zonka will head off as well as the Falcons get second change.
Seen a lot of feistiness out of this Augustana team. Also seen some arguing about some calls that they aren't quite going their way. It is their first year in the CCHA officially, so.
Officiating has been pretty good over the last 2 games, I think. A couple of missed or maybe questionable in this game. One miss that I remember yesterday. Seth Fighton was blown up about 15, 20 feet away from the puck and no call. But generally for CCHA officiating has been pretty solid. Now Quinn Emerson takes it over into the center, and he was interfered with the puck too close to him, so it's not going to be interference. Referee standing in the way of the puck there. A couple of players getting in. 2 Falcons, 2 Vikings. Nace Langus away through center. Luke Mobley up the right wing now. Around the half wall along the orange border here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. Up to Fighton. Fighting on sides. We're going to, it's going to be offsides. So I don't know what that call was.
Fighting entered the zone before he put the puck in.
I think the puck was still on the blue line, if I'm not mistaken.
Just held onto the blue line a little bit too long.
He's not happy about it, still arguing, but 3:28 left to play in the second. 1-1 score, Bowling Green and Augustana. 25 shots on goal for the Falcons. They lead by 11 in that department. Hennon will dump it back down into Baumgartner. Baumgartner up. McKinley chases it all the way back, and there'll be an icing against the Vikings. A lot of stoppages earlier in this game. We saw it in the third period yesterday, but the legs were tired by both squads. Looks like Fighton's going to head off now. And 2 minutes for an elbow. So that's why we got the whistle. And now Bowling Green will head on the penalty kill with one of their better penalty killers sitting in the box. Seth Fighton, who also scored a goal in the first period. The only goal for Bowling Green today. Grant and Emerson will go on the PK with Norris and Stjernberg.
BG very middle of the pack, at least in terms of the CCHA. When it comes to penalty kill, they rank 5th. Augustana ranks 1st for their penalty kill.
Understandably, given they are 6 for 6 on the penalty kill. Augustana's 0 for 2 on their power play chances this weekend. Hennon with the puck, scored a goal yesterday, the overtime winner. Another shot in. Stover saves it. Oh my gosh, he got turned all the way back around and still had a save. Big hit there, and Trombley has dropped back down to the ice, and a bad pass there by Augustana clears it outside the zone. Augustana is saying to put the pressure on because the Falcons were changing a little bit slow. Stjernberg with the puck now. He's on tired legs and ices it back down. This is why second period power plays are so rough, is because Augustana's scoring on the same end that their bench is on, and they get changes so quick. Bowling Green's got to range even farther to get to their bench, and the extra couple of seconds matter a heck of a lot. Scardina tries to ice it down, but a couple of bodies on the glass prevent it by Augustana. Hennon at the blue line, working over to the center, now pass it to the left wing. Bischoff down to the goal line, looking for a pass in between of the slot, now back out to Hennon at the blue line. Hennon, the shot in is high, and back out by Mobley. Mobley back out to Meerman. Meerman into Hennon. Hennon into Meerman again. Meerman back down to the goal line. In front, backhand chance, and it's high and wide of the goal with 30 seconds left to play in the power play. Meerman back down to the goal line, turns it back around. Stover in front. The puck is in front as well. On the doorstep, covered up by Stover, and he shuts that play down again. 1:40 left in the second, 24 seconds left in the power play for Augustana.
Augustana has struggled on the power play this weekend, going 0 for 2 yesterday. This is their first one of the night today, but overall, throughout the season, they currently rank 7th out of 9 teams in CCHA for their power play percentage. Kind of surprising for a team that's so well known for their high scoring opportunities.
Back out to the blue line, it's Owen Bond. Bond back to Baumgartner. Baumgartner gets pressed up. Bowling Green bringing the physicality on both of those touches by Augustana. Emerson looking to ice it out. He gets it outside the blue line, and with 10 seconds left, Fighton will stand up and get ready to come out of the box. Bowling Green putting high pressure on, not allowing them to get an offensive chance. They have it, ice it back down with 1 second left, and now Fighton's out, and it'll take an immediate hit. Easton Young in the neutral zone, Fighton playing the puck before he gets off. Still playing the puck now with Del Greco, looking to get it to another white jersey before he changes. And he's still playing the puck. He just will not go off for the change as O'Hara was still looking in. Fighton still playing, 1 minute left to play in the second period. 1-1 Bowling Green, Augustana. And it'll be an icing against Bowling Green, and Fighton will not be able to get off. It's a poor line change, in my opinion, by Fighton, because he's got Waters and Duran with him now, and O'Hara waiting to get on. It looks like O'Hara's only going to be able to get on for 20 or 30 seconds.
When you're a goal scorer like O'Hara, especially in recent games, those 20 seconds might be all you need.
A lot of time. A lot of time. Back out to the blue line. Vikings with the puck. Hennon's shot is wide. McIntyre with the puck in there as well. Fighton still playing. He's on tired legs, even though he just came out of the box for 2. Up into the netting. We'll get another whistle, and finally Fighton will skate over to the bench. And O'Hara will come on with Niedermeyer and Emanen. Sternberg and Parker as well, with 34 seconds left to play in the second. Augustana's Luke Mobley, Garrett Drotz, and Simon Falk on. Nace Langus now getting on instead. Off of the glass, coming all the way in is O'Hara. O'Hara is going to play the puck as he had the lead. Back over, O'Hara will come up with it with 20 seconds left to play. Bowling Green should get the last drive here. Kind of like the end of a basketball, make sure that you get the last shot. Out to O'Hara. O'Hara leaves it back to Emanen. Emanen on the near side, out to the blue line of Parker. Parker across, under 10 left to play. Shot in, held on by Kotai, and we're going to get a face-off to his left with 5 seconds left to play in the second frame. .25 shots on goal, 19 for Augustana. They got 5 since the start of the power play, and the penalty given up by Seth Fighton as he went off for 2. Fighton and Grant, the only 2 that received penalties in this game, but Grant's was offsetting with Brady Zemer from Augustana, so it doesn't count as a power play opportunity. Meanwhile, Bowling Green had 2 of their own opportunities that they failed to capitalize on, as the play will expire. And we'll head into the Marta Crow second intermission report. 1-1. Bowling Green scores late in the first with Seth Fighton. And a short-handed goal by Augustana and Joey Del Greco will tie things up at 1 heading into the third frame. And this will be to take 3 points in the CCHA and hopefully come away from the series with a smile on your face. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Phil Beskid, BGSU Radio Faculty Advisor. You can catch all the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts on our 2 stations, WBGU 88.1 FM and Falcon Radio, which can both be found on bgfalconmedia.com. Ziggy.
On January 13th, Bowling Green State University Director of Athletics Derek Vandermeer announced that head men's soccer coach Eric Nichols had agreed to a 5-year contract extension. Across 16 seasons, Nichols has accumulated a record of 131, 119, and 44. And through the last 5 years, he has led Bowling Green to a 56, 37, and 15 record, including a trip to the Missouri Valley Conference Championship game in 2024. Since the 2020 season, Nichols has guided Bowling Green to 2 NCAA tournament bids, winning a game in 2021. He is now under contract for the 2029 season.
On October 4th, 2024, BGSU volleyball opposite hitter Lauren Hovey recorded her 115th career service ace in BG's comeback reverse sweep of Western Michigan, passing Paige Penrod for the most in program history during the rally scoring era. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil had the call of the historic moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And that will make history. Lauren Hovey's 115th ace in the rally scoring era is in the history books as the Stroh Center applauds.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
BGSU men's basketball returns to the Stroh Center for the Battle of I-75 against Toledo on Friday, January 24th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kaplitz and Artie Abrego at 5:45 for pregame and 6 p.m. for tip-off on Falcon Radio.
BGSU Gymnastics will battle Southeast Missouri State in Central Michigan at the Stroh on Sunday, January 6th at 2 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network Sam Morris will have a recap of the event on bgfalconmedia.com.
Hockey wraps up their 2-game series against Augustana on Saturday, January 25th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak and Nathan Burkett at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for puck drop on WBGU 88.1 FM. Your home for BGSU Hockey.
Falcon Hockey looks to get back in the win column against Augustana on Friday, January 24th. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak and Lucas Kleinmeyer at 7:15 for pregame and 7:30 for puck drop on WBGU 88.1 FM.
The Late Marta Crow second intermission report brought to you by Rick Crow, sponsored Bowling Green hockey travel this season by the Falcon Media Sports Network, which the next series of which will be against Northern Michigan next week in Marquette. I'll be up there, and we will also have a videographer up there, and we'll have highlight packages of both games after this series has finished. Bowling Green needs every point they can possibly pull off in the CCHA because they're battling for one of the top spots, and they're battling against the top team as of right now, tied 1-1 with Augustana. You know, Nathan Burkett, we came into this game wondering how the power play was going to look. It caused a little bit of problems for Bowling Green yesterday, and it looks like it's causing some problems for them again today.
When it comes to scoring on the power play, I would definitely say, yeah, they've struggled. But when it comes to putting together some good power plays that can build some momentum, they've actually done pretty good. And like, even yesterday, I'd only say the last power play of the game was one I would probably say as a coach would probably be disappointed in. But other than that, it's been very solid power plays. You just can't quite score on them.
They have generated pretty good shots on goal and taken a little bit of momentum away from them, but at a certain point, you're at 6 now this weekend, and you haven't been able to fill one, and you're at a 210 clip this season, so you're nearing in on the point where you're really due for one, and getting one of the two in that second period would have been big. Instead of that, you allowed a shorthanded goal to Joey Del Greco, which tied the game up after the Seth Fighton goal late in the first period, assisted by Jackson Niedermeyer and Ville Emanen. And yeah, that's how we get to this point right now, 1-1. Christian Stover has been pretty darn good. We can say that he missed the shutout now again. 18 saves, 1 goal allowed. That's only 2 goals allowed this weekend, and he's sitting at a .947 save percentage right now. Josh Kotai with 25 saves, 1 goal allowed for a .962 save percentage. Both goaltenders have played fantastic. Kotai has more saves, I think, because Bowling Green has had more shots, but Stover has had some really high-quality saves, a couple on the power play alone, and a couple of really gymnastic saves in the crease as well that's prevented some more goals from Augustana to be coming on the board.
Absolutely. You have to call Pavel Datsuk and get him to let Stover borrow his nickname. Pure magic out there from Stover. I don't know if the Magic Man's going to replace Hot Stove, but you might want to consider it.
Yeah, Stove is certainly hot because coming into this game, he was sitting at 7-1-2. The only loss coming in overtime and a 1.8 goals allowed per game and a .947 save percentage. One of the best in the nation and one of the best in the CCHA as well. So Nathan, before we come into the final frame with Bowling Green 1 goal away from taking 3 points, much needed points in the CCHA, what do you want to see from the Falcons besides just scoring on the power play?
I want to say keep the physicality up. And it's not just because it's fun hockey to watch. It's because we have seen Augustana not always respond the best to it. When they take big hits, they lay on the ground an extra seconds. They act dazed for an extra second. Also, I've seen multiple times where we'll see an Augustana player will get knocked down and arguably make questionable situation, but they'll argue with the play. I saw one Augustana player arguing with a ref mid-play instead of playing and trying to get the puck back for his team, which it shows that by continuously laying hits and doing these things and keeping the physicality up, especially from players like Gustav Sternberg, it's getting in Augustana's heads. It's kind of throwing them off their game. It's literally throwing them off the puck in many situations. If you can keep the physicality up, if you keep them frustrated at the refs, at themselves, instead of focusing on playing the puck and trying to use that skill and speed that they have. We talked about Augustana is more of a speed and skill team than a physicality team. I think if we can keep that up and keep up that CCHA chippiness that the CCHA is known for, they might be able to continue to be throwing up their game enough for BG to sneak 1 or maybe even 2 more goals in.
Certainly want to make them play your game, and that game so far has been physicality. Wouldn't be surprised if they take a step back for that and try and focus on as much offense as they can muster, because they have more to lose than Augustana. Augustana, if they take any points, has a pretty good chance of holding on to their top spot, but Bowling Green needs every point they can with Michigan Tech and Minnesota State winning today. We'll get into that in a second, but Bowling Green doing some great jobs with their shot chart as well, taking a lot of their shots from in deep in front of the crease. It's something that I like to see from Bowling Green team. They seem to have success when they get shots in deep from there, and they have a much more impressive shot chart than the Vikings as of right now. A high density of shots all coming from around the same place. And aside from Josh Kotai standing on his head, you've had some great offense from Bowling Green so far in this game. Moving over to around the CCHA in this Marta Crow second intermission report. Minnesota State beat Ferris State 7-2. There was hope there with 2-0 lead in Big Rapids for Ferris State. But the last time we talked, it was 4-2, and since then, Adam Isley scored his second goal of the game, and Josh Grohl and Rhett Pitlick also scored goals in the third, meaning that Minnesota State Mavericks have won 7-2, and they'll take 3 points in the CCHA, splitting their second weekend in a row with a bottom two team in the CCHA. Northern Michigan, unfortunately, will get swept by Michigan Tech. They win 4-0 over the Wildcats. Logan Morrell, Ryder Matter, Max Koskapirti, and Elias Janssen all scored goals. Janssen, his third of the weekend, scored the two-game hat trick, and the rival sweep in the away barn for Michigan Tech. St. Thomas and Bemidji State at the second intermission tied 2-2. Ryan O'Neill scored in the first. Jackson Judding for Bemidji scored in the first as well, tied at 1-1. And then Jake Brasini scored in the second period for St. Thomas, and Jackson Judding scored again in the second for Bemidji State. He's been all the offense for the Beavers, along with a couple of assists, and it's tied 2-2 heading into the third period at what is unfortunately becoming a battle for the bottom between Bemidji State and St. Thomas, depending on how this game goes. They're really fighting for a home playoff spot and really not too much more. Bowling Green Augustana tied 1-1. 4.5 minutes will bring you back for the third period of action between the Vikings and the Falcons. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On Saturday, January 18th, senior guard Lexi Fleming became the 32nd player in program history to reach 1,000 career points. Doing it in her 82nd start, she tied herself for the 9th fastest player to reach that point total. In the game against Northern Illinois, where she reached the career milestone, she scored 15 points and dished out 5 as total assists. Fleming averages 12.6 points and 3.3 assists per game this season. In MAC play, she averages 14.5 points and 4.1 assists per game. The former MAC Freshman of the Year is currently in her 5th year with the BGSU women's basketball program and averages 2.12 steals per game, the 4th most in program history. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Forward Jemai Felt has emerged as a young star as a redshirt freshman on the BGSU men's basketball team after earning this week's Falcon Media Sports Network Athlete of the Week award. Felt followed up a Falcon win against Buffalo where he earned 8 points on 7 rebounds and 4 blocks, with a performance against Eastern Michigan where he was 2 points short of a double-double with 8 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 4 steals. After sitting out the past 2 seasons due to injury, Felt has emerged as a dominant force at the block among a Falcons squad riddled with front court injuries, as his 1.4 blocks per game is good for 3rd best in the MAC. This has been Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network. Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, There was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconMedia.com. Hi, Ziggy. Hey there, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Puck drop here in the third period. Bowling Green and Augustana tied 1-1 through 2 periods of play. The only 2 regulation goals scored this weekend. Augustana got the better of Bowling Green last night with an overtime goal by Hayden Hennon. A golden goal, a game-winning goal, however you want to put it. But it won the game for Augustana and took 2 points in the CCHA. Bowling Green only took 1. If they're able to win in regulation, they took 4 points on the weekend, which I think is going to be a pretty successful weekend considering where they sit in the standings. Nathan Burkett, Ben Korak, myself from the Falcon Media Sports Network. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. The BG Falcon Media YouTube channel for rebroadcasts and our video packages that we will have for this game. And then the Zig Zone we will have tomorrow at 4 p.m. A couple of Falcon Media Sports Network experts or beats will talk about BGSU hockey and men's basketball, women's basketball, all that's going on in BG Sports. It's a fun time. Definitely tune in and listen to us gab a little bit about what's going on around the campus of Bowling Green. Pass up in center. It's Del Greco that takes it away. He scored a shorthanded goal in the second period. That's the only goal for Augustana this game. Pass way across. It's a little bit long for Emerson. It's going to be banked off the wall and held on to by Garrett Drotz. Drotz into Baumgartner down the right wing. High in the air, dumps it in. Sternberg is going to wear a hit, but get it away. O'Hara gets it out. It's going to be an icing. If it makes it there, that it is. It's going to be the Augustana player leading. No touch icing anymore. 19 minutes left to play in the third period. 1-1 score. Nice to see so many Falcon fans in the Slater Family Ice Arena. A lot of orange and brown here today. The band, as you can hear, I'm sure. A lot of hype going on, especially the Seth Fighton goal. The first goal that Falcon fans have seen all weekend for their own team. Norris tries to get it away. Ryan O'Hara there as well. Norris to O'Hara. O'Hara in center. Backhand pass to Waters. Waters up the left wing. Working all the way in. He's bumped up by a defenseman from Augustana. He loses his footing and loses the puck as well. Taking it in, down right wing, shot saved by Stover. Now back around is high in the air. Norris will hold on without strong forecheck. Now through the zone into O'Hara and Waters. Water a little bit long for Waters, and the blue and gold will dump it back in the zone. Paston will settle it down. Wozni will go back to him. Up the ice, Paston into Fighton. Fighton centers it into Emanen. Emanen to Fighton again. Fighton to Emanen. Back out to the blue line. Into Passanen. Passanen at the blue line. Shot down. Goal line in front. Seth Fighton was there to try and clean it up. Trying to get his second goal of the game. Another shot in, and Kotai will reach out and grab this one. With 18 minutes left to play in the third period. 1-1 still the score.
Both teams getting good chances as they have all game. Just can't get another one past these brick walls we have in net on both sides.
Pick the stick update. Artie Abrego chose Christian Stover, who's sitting at 2 points right now. Only lost 1 for the goal that he gave up. And then the rest of the Falcon Media Sports Network not doing so hot. Lucas chose Ben Duran, no points. Tyler Cavalier chose Ryan O'Hara, no points. Nathan, you chose Brody Waters, no points. And Dalton Norris, for myself, also has no points. Pass back into Fighton. Fighton goes back around, but he wears a huge hit. And the pass isn't the quality that he would probably like. Norris tacks it across to Emanen. Emanen back around. It's grazed by Kotai's stick behind the goal. Back around, the Falcons with the puck out to the blue line. Stjernberg across the blue paint, across to Karodiak. Karodiak leaves it out. Another shot in is gloved again by Kotai, who steps out of the crease.
As you mentioned, both of us still have 0 points per stick, so let's go Waters. You know, we just need 2 goals or 4 assists. Take your pick. I'll leave it up to him to decide.
Hopefully, it's always something weird to root for because you don't want Stover to give up any more goals, but as of right now, Artie Abrego is looking pretty good to take a win. And the pool of Falcon Media Sports Network is doing great as of late. The board operators, Holden Ruck won yesterday in Pick the Stick, and Artie's set up to win today as our board operator. Thank you, Artie, for setting aside the time tonight. Pass down deep, it hit the calf of Jaden Grant to try and keep it off icing. Baumgartner will get it to his line mate, Hayden Hennon. Hennon's pass is long, up to Central. Brett Foe. Brett Foe with a little bit of open ice in front of him, taking up the left wing. Off the top of the glove of Kotai. Emerson dumps it back around, all the way back around to McKinley. McKinley at the blue line, left point into Foe. Foe with a rare slap shot there from the wheel. He's dumped back in. Emerson with great stick handling there. He's hit away from the puck. Back up to the blue line to Augustana. Augustana takes it outside their own zone for the first time in what feels like a while. Stover stops this one with 16:30 left to play in the third. 1-1 still the score. McKinley to the left wing, up to Martin. Max Martin, Quinn Emerson, Ethan Scardina on the ice for the Falcons now. A strong forward group there, pretty well-rounded. Across to Mobley. Luke Mobley, centerman on the second line. A senior out of Lewis Park, Minnesota. Martin with a shot in. It was on the doorstep and nobody there to clean it up. There's just no Falcons crashed into the puck and to the crease. Stjernberg turns it back around, goes for a pass. It's off the skate of Scardina. Scardina gets it away. Waters up the right wing as his guys will go for a change. With a shot in. Waters off the kicker of Kotai. O'Hara goes for the body. Yeah, that one grazed the ceiling there high in the air, but didn't touch it. No whistle. Wozni up off of the skates of O'Hara. Duran will skate all the way in there to try and get the puck first, but Augustana will get it away quick. Big hit there by Duran on the receiving end of that play. And he's still tied up, finally getting away from the play. Friesen with a shot is blocked by Norris. He takes it back out to the blue line. Pass across is into Duran. Duran bumping up on Hunter Bischoff. Bischoff with some great breakaways so far in this game. One of them assisting the Joey Del Greco goal shorthanded. 2 of his breakaways actually coming shorthanded. Now Bowling Green's got a 3-on-2 chance. Niedermeyer dumps it in. Emanen with the puck now, battling with Bischoff behind Kotai. And it's left deep out to Pasanen. Pasanen at the blue line. Down deep, Niedermeyer back around. Karodiak at the blue line. His shot in is blocked by Bischoff and way up into the stands. And out of play, we'll get another whistle. But we're seeing a lot of possession held by Bowling Green. And through the first 6 minutes and 20 seconds, I'd say Bowling Green's dominated play so far.
Absolutely, and that's certainly what you want to see as a Falcon fan here. Kind of hard for Augustana to score and use that speed if they don't have the puck. So, Willie clapping on the bench. He's clearly pleased with his team's performance. I won't say happy because coach is never truly happy, but pleased.
No true bad things to say this weekend. Power play would be the only thing that you can really address as a weak spot. Now here's a breakaway, and it's stifled quickly by Stjernberg on the pass from Del Greco. Wozni back out. Good stick from Fightin. Fightin has played great in this game. Not because he has the only goal, but his shifts, even if you take away the goal, have been great. He finishes his check there on Nace Langus. Almost turned the puck back over. Garrett Drotz takes it up the left wing. Held up there. Zinka, who came off the bench. Zonka plays the puck now into Foe, into Zonka. Zonka pass across along his own blue line to Karodiak. Karodiak might have the most ice time of any defenseman here today, or if he doesn't, it's close. This one flipped over to the left wing corner of the Falcons, and Pasanen will break his stick as he was trying to go down the ice. Karodiak will be playing defense. Shot and the save from Stover. He'll hold on, and that was a lucky play from the Falcons to stop it after an unlucky play on pass and stick breaking on the pass.
BG Hockey uses Warrior brand sticks and all Warrior gear. Might need to send a refund, Warrior might, for that one.
Yeah, that's just some firewood on the ice right there.
It'll help fuel the hot stove.
Cleaned up, no damage done. Oh, kicker save from Stover as that one was redirected in front. Martin takes it up to central. Langus giving pressure, and Quinn Emerson will have to chase it back behind Kotai. He's pressed up against the boards. No penalty there as he slides probably a good 25, 30 feet after that hit. McIntyre down and back. Parker catches the body, gets the puck away. Martin doesn't finish the check, although he had it right there. Luke Mobley was there waiting for it. Parker gave him a hit. Scardina takes it up, getting his guys a change. His shot in. Kotai gloves and drops. So no early whistle there. Back hit. O'Hara through the zone. Makes a good move to the outside. And it's taken away by Augustana. 3-on-3 now for the Vikings. The only pressure man will be Owen Bond. Up to Waters. Long for him. Held on to by Stover. Stover behind the goal. Back to Stjernberg near side. Pass up to Central, forcing it up to O'Hara. O'Hara in the right wing, down toward the goal line. Good stick work. Holds onto the puck still. Centering pass, a little bit slow, and it's held on to. It's going to be a high sticking against, I believe, Bowling Green, and it'll come back into their zone on the faceoff. 12:30 left to play in the third period. 1-1 Bowling Green and Augustana. BG leads in shots on goal by 10, and was a shorthanded blunder, or a power play blunder, I guess, for the Falcons, and a shorthanded stronghold for Augustana that's been truly the difference in this game. Still 2 power plays. Bowling Green is not able to capitalize. 1 for Augustana that they did not score on either. Well, they did score on one of Bowling Green's power plays. Off the glass, into center ice. Baumgartner knocks it down with his skate. Wings it across to his other D-man, Hennon. Back to Baumgartner through the middle. Now finally gets picked up by a defender and dumps it down in. It's going to be an icing as he was standing behind at the center line.
BG looks like they will go for a change, and they will. The pairing of Stjernberg and Norris coming back out there. They led the team in shots. In yesterday's game, they've been very good today as well, despite Coach Willie mixing up the D pairings throughout the night.
Scardina and Emerson, center and left. Max Martin on the right. And Dalton Norris and Gustav Stjernberg, the defenseman, as Nathan said a second ago. Hennon gives a hit. Meerman wears a hit there as well from Stjernberg. Stjernberg is not close enough to the boards to hold on to this one, and Norris will have to chase it down. He loses the edge of his skate, and it's taken away. Oh, crossing pass into Meerman, and Meerman can't complete it. Peyton Matsui around. The Falcons have had a couple of luck blunders there as Norris just lost the edge and turned it over in a bad spot to Augustana. It'll be held on to by Stover. That's kind of a annoying play right there by Brett Meerman to knock it out of his glove after the whistle was blown. Under 12 left to play in the third period. 1-1 still. BG leads by 10. Ben Trombley, Colton Friesen, and Joey Del Greco, none of which are from the same line, but they're the forwards on the ice now for Augustana. Trombley out to the blue line. McIntyre across, shot in from Zemer. Let go to the back wall, back out to McIntyre. McIntyre at the left wing blue line, up to Friesen. Friesen is kept outside the zone by Karodiak. Everybody will have to get on sides for Augustana. It'll be a turnover to the Falcons here as Duran will gather this one easy. Duran a bank pass across with absolutely nobody there. Slap shot around by Zemer into Parker. Parker digs it off the boards. Around to Duran. Duran to Karodiak. Karodiak pass up to O'Hara. O'Hara pulls it off the boards. Good move there to the inside. Shot is kick saved by Kotai. Tried to ice it all the way back around. Wozni with a shot in on the doorstep, and it's knocked away by a defenseman from Augustana. They're getting a rush now. Ben Trombley dumps it in, and now we'll go for a change as the Falcons get a couple of guys on as well. New forward line, Grant, Foe, and Zonka. The Waz and Basinen also back there. Off the half wall, out the zone, backhand pass, into central for Augustana. Back across, nabbed out of the air and dropped by Grant. Giving a check to Nace Langus. Getting it away to another blue jersey. Langus looking for a pass. He'll get it to the near side. That's Luke Mobley. Mobley is centerman, but plays on the wing a lot of the time. His line mate Rudrud plays a lot in front of the crease. Now a shot in as let goes to the back wall by Stover. Passanen takes it away, looking for a white jersey. Gets it up to the left wing at Foe. Foe on the left wing, dumps it down. Hennon and Langus will put pressure on there. Foe still has the angle on it. And now it's pinned up against the boards with a couple of Falcons and a couple of Vikings in there. Stjernberg looks to get it in. Eamon with his shot, and it's blocked by Hennon. Hennon is tripped up right there. No call, though. That might have been a tripping off the puck. Fighton takes it up. On the right wing, shot in, blocked. Back up to McKinley at the blue line. McKinley dumps it back down. Kurodiak with the puck, turning it back toward the... Oh, I'm sorry, that's Eamon. Eamon with the puck now. Stjernberg wide open in the center. He's calling for the puck, but they can't get it off the boards. Still 2 Falcons and 3 Vikings working in there. Niedermeyer in between of it all. Back out to the blue line. McKinley again dumps it in instead of going to the open man along the blue line. Out to Matsui. Matsui through center. Turned it over. McKinley up down the right wing. Wholesale now for the Falcons once McKinley gets off after he wasted some time there. 8:45 left to play in the third period. 1-1 still the score. See if this one can go into overtime like last night. Friesen open ice hit by Max Martin. Not much to speak of, but he has the puck now into the zone, avoiding the icing. Emerson will go around the right side. The defender will go around the left. Augustana player will play the puck. Emerson puts a hit on. Now in the O zone of the Falcons. Augustana gets it out. Brett Meerman across to Bischoff. Bischoff settled down by Stover behind the goal. Parker banks it out to Kurodiak. Kurodiak and Parker. Nathan, you can disagree with this, but they've been the premier defenseman for the Falcons. Emerson crosses it to Ben Duran. Wozni dumps it back in, all the way back around to Easton Young, and Young will pass it out to his right wing. Out to center, Tommy Passanen with the puck now down the left wing. Bowling Green will have to take it up through the zone into Passanen on the right wing now. Passanen dumps it back down. O'Hara puts a hit on. Easton Young is there as well. Now Del Greco with the puck. And Falcon pressure as he puts a hit on. Waters in there as well. O'Hara with the puck in the slot. Duran gets a stick on it, but it's taken away quickly by Augustana. Pressured down the ice. Passanen will get a little bit handsy with Del Greco as he forces Del Greco to the ice. Now Bowling Green will take it up through Central. We'll take a step back right now for legal ID after this Brett Froh play taken away by Augustana. Here we go, Artie Abrego.
Hey there, I'm Ben Korak, the voice of Falcon Hockey, and you are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for BGSU hockey.
Stover with the puck now, back around, long for Matsui by the Augustana player. Wearing a hit is Hennon. It has gotten pretty fast-paced as of the last couple of minutes. Trombley pass across is into Grant's skates as he was standing perfectly placed for that crossing pass to change direction on Stover. Still pinning up against the left wing of the Falcon zone. Dump in off the glove of Stover. Stjernberg, it's a little bit long for him. 6:30 left to play in the first period. No stoppages for a long while since we've been at about the 11-minute mark. Long skating, a lot of these guys. Probably needing a break as play has slowed down a little bit, although it's still going end to end quite often. Fighting still battling. On the forecheck now. Forces it to the right wing of Augustana. Back across. Vikings get a new guy on the ice. Owen Bond. Gets it away to Parker. Parker and to Eamon. Eamon around the wheel. out, kept in by the Falcons. Fighting skates right by it as he could have played the puck. Knocked down to the ice there, playing D-man. Back to McIntyre. McIntyre turns it back around toward the blue line. Back into Wozni. Wozni down the left wing. Press there. Couple of Falcons, a couple of Vikings. Still pinned up against the boards. Nace Langus has it on his stick and in his skate. 5:30 left to play in the third period. Tommy Passanen blows a tire. It's going to be a Bowling Green delayed penalty, and I think an Augustana player is going to head to the box after our break. We'll figure out who it's going to be, but it's going to be 2 for tripping. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconmedia.com.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconmedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
1-1 Bowling Green and Augustana in the Slater Family Ice Arena, looking to take 3 points in the CCHA, and it's looking like it's going to be a good opportunity for Bowling Green as they are 0 for 6 on the power play so far this weekend and head to another one after a tripping penalty against number 86, the freshman out of Slovenia, Nace Langus. We're going to get a prime opportunity for Bowling Green, and they're going to put out their best goal scorers. O'Hara, Waters, Martin, and on the D end, it's Sternberg and Norris. Not a lot of forward action on the power play as of late for Willie. Maybe explaining some of the drop back in the power play ability for Bowling Green, but Norris and Sternberg with wicked shots.
Sternberg also very good at knowing when to score at key moments. I believe he has 2 game-winning goals in a year of his 3 goals. So
he is quite a clutch player.
Statistically speaking, if he scores, it will be the winning goal.
More likely than not, for sure. Ryan O'Hara in for the draw, loses it to Augustana. I think he's 0 for 2 on the draws today. He's only taken 2, both of them on the power play. Back across to Norris. Norris on the right wing, back to Sternberg in the center. Now to the left wing to O'Hara. O'Hara down deep, working it in. Kotai holds on to this one. With only about 13 seconds expired in the power play, BG already gets a pretty good chance. 35 saves for Josh Kotai today. Only 1 goal allowed compared to Stover's 23 saves and 1 goal allowed. You get the replay on the board here. A low angle shot. No chance for a rebound as he held on to that one and throws it.
Good job. I believe that may have been Brody Waters to set a screen for those point shots.
Waters gets knocked up real weird against the boards. Icing it back down is Augustana, so they'll get the first icing away. They've killed off 6 so far in this game. Norris takes it up the left side of the goal. He's the lead man. Now we'll dump it back, so it's a forward that leads. O'Hara to Martin. Martin up the left wing, trying to get it into O'Hara, and it'll clear up to the netting off of a stick. We'll get a face-off in the O zone of the Falcons, who are actually trailing in face-offs as it is right now. It certainly feels like it, too, with Augustana winning a ton through Peyton Matsui and Luke Mobley. 24 face-off wins of their 29 between those two. Shows you the lines that have been playing so far as well. It's the second and third line. The first line not playing too much. Augustana will ice it back down again after a face-off. Not a face-off win for Bowling Green, but it was 1 to their side. 4:30 left to play in the first period. 1:10 left to play in the power play for Bowling Green. Must score part of the game for the Falcons. In front, saved by Kotai. He lost track of it for a second. That was a shot from Sternberg. Back out to the blue line at Sternberg to O'Hara. Back to Sternberg on the left wing. Back out to O'Hara at the blue line, paying the point guard. Back to Sternberg, and Sternberg loops it back around to O'Hara. O'Hara shoots it over to Norris, and it'll clear outside the blue line with O'Hara back to hold on. Back into Wozni, who was off the bench. Woz will take it back around. 40 seconds left to play in the man advantage for Bowling Green. 3:50 left to play in the third period. 1-1. This can tilt the ice to the way of the Falcons if they can convert. Back into the center by Brett Foe, and it's blocked as a pass. Back across to Emanen. Emanen at the point. Down deep to the goal line. Out to Wozni. Wozni at the middle point. Into Foe. Foe changes direction. Slap shot from Wozni is blocked by Augustana. And that's Bischoff again. Bischoff takes it down around to the other blue line. And that'll kill off the penalty, I believe, for Augustana. 7 for 7 on penalty kills today. The best penalty kill in the CCHA. Scardina comes all the way back around to the blue line. Passanen takes it down the left wing, out to the goal line. Another shot in, and is back out and not held in by the Falcons. Parker across to Passanen. Passanen slaps it all the way back in. Fighton goes for a hit while playing the puck. Kotai will cover this up and get his guys a change and opts for a face-off to his left. Under 3 left to play in the second period, or the third period, I should say. 1-1, still the score. If Augustana is one of the better teams in the CCHA, which they've been regarded this season, Bowling Green is certainly right with them as they have played to a T so far in the series.
BG started the year a little slow, especially trying to grow momentum with a new coach, but ever since that Northern Michigan series, it's been all steam ahead for them.
Emerson bullying the puck, and that was Hayden Hennon that held onto it. The crossing pass goes into Friesen. Friesen out to Meerman on the right wing. Back into Baumgartner. His shot is blocked. Full sell by Emerson. Great to see from Quinn. He'll take it out to the left side of the ice. Down, and now he wears a hit on the other side as well. Getting beat up is Emerson as he'll take a second and come off. Niedermeyer on the ice now for Bowling Green, and it'll be an icing against Augustana.
We've seen Quinn lay out and block a couple of these big opportunities from Augustana. Good to see not just the BG defensemen, but everyone in the BG troops laying out, trying to keep Augustana's shot total low, especially after they lost the shots on goal battle yesterday, albeit by just 2 shots. But
unlike a lot of sports, extras win is not the same as a regular win. So a win is not the win in hockey. The Falcons would be great to take 3 points if they can get one in the next 2 minutes. But they need to at least take 2 points in this game to keep really battling for a top spot in the CCHA and hold on to their home playoff. Michigan Tech completed a clutch sweep this weekend of Northern Michigan, although they are the bottom team in the CCHA. Minnesota State split, which is good for the Falcons. A split with Augustana will be decent as well for Bowling Green. Scardina in the wheel. Wins the faceoff over to Niedermeyer. Sternberg will disc it across to Norris. Norris feeds it up to Scardina. Scardina up the left wing, makes a move to the inside, and now turns it back over to Friesen. Colton Friesen gets mugged by Sternberg. Sternberg with a shot, and it's kicked away to the far side of Kotai. That one's in front as well and swept away by Kotai. Sternberg across. Norris with a shot. It's in front again, and it is high in the air. Off the glass, it'll fall down. Still in the O-zone of Bowling Green. They've dominated this third period. No offense to show for it, like a lot of what's happened in this series. Wozni playing defense on the puck, and Brett Meerman. That was a shot from Sternberg over to Zonka. Zonka to O'Hara. O'Hara stays on sides there to Duran. Duran tries to go back to O'Hara, and tripped on the ice is Matsui. Matsui is dropped down to his knees, flipped over, head over heels. Turn it over to Waters. Waters looking for a pass and another white jersey. Just get it out to the point, Brody. He can't do it, and he'll turn it over. Nace Langus takes it up the right wing. It'll be passed in the first one there with Bischoff there as well. Turns it over in the zone. Pass across to Dratz. Garrett Drotz fans on his pass. Brody Waters with less than a minute left to play takes it up down the wing. Hayden Hennon back in the zone. Across to the left wing at Baumgartner. Baumgartner settles it back down to 40 seconds left in the third period. Augustana can be happy coming away with 1 point in this. You definitely want more. Now here's a turnover to Emanen. Emanen into Emerson. Emerson can't hold on. Simon Falk tries to get it outside the zone. Sternberg dumps it back in. 25 seconds left to play in the third period. And in a series of regulation for Bowling Green. Tipped away. Now they have the puck. 15 seconds left to play in the third period. Sternberg looking for a pass. He'll get it up through the zone, and instead it goes into the bench of Augustana. We'll have a face-off in Central.
Just 13 seconds left here in the final period of regulation. BG one away from getting their 40th shot on goal.
Only 24 for Augustana as well, and that should show you the shot on goal differential that we've had so far.
BG's one goal coming off Seth Fine getting a quick one-timer from a pass from the corner, and they've been trying to replicate that ever since.
Back out to Passanen. Passanen in his own end. Under 10 seconds left to play in the third period. This one off of the glass. I think it was off the bench glass, so it could have been a whistle. But this is going to be nothing, and we're going to go to another overtime between Bowling Green and Augustana, with BG looking to take the 2 overtime split and take 2 points in the CCHA today. We'll take a step back for a minute and bring you back for 3-on-3, 5-minute overtime, the second of the weekend. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
1-1 tie through 3 periods of regulation, and actually in the 120 minutes of regulation between Bowling Green and Augustana, they have been at a 1-1 tie, the only differential being an overtime game winner from Hayden Hennon yesterday. Number 9, a sophomore defenseman from Augustana, took a wrist shot from between the slot, and he beat Stover for the only time yesterday. Stover's only been beat once today, and that was by Joey Del Greco, his 6th goal of the season, assisted by Hennon and Hunter Bischoff. And Seth Fighton scored a goal in this game as well. 2 minutes left in the first period. Seth Fighton scored with Jackson Niedermeyer and Billy Emanen as the assists. We'll see if we can get an overtime winner in this game. The last one was by Ryan O'Hara, assisted by Ben Wozni and Jaden Grant in the Bemidji State Series in the first game of that series. And that one was one where the Falcons took 1 point one game, 2 points the next game, technically a sweep, or a split against Bemidji. And they'll look to do the same today against Augustana and take 2 much-needed points that they can add to their 1 from yesterday. Duran and O'Hara, as O'Hara was tripped up there for a second. Face-off won by Augustana on the draw from Duran. Wozni, the only defenseman. Hunter Bischoff takes it up the left wing, open ice, looking for a pass. Now back up to the blue line to Luke Mobley. Luke Mobley, his puck was fought with by Ben Duran. Mobley pressed up against the boards. Duran looking to turn the puck over. Wozni will be playing Hayden Hennon now, who's playing defense for... Oh, come on.
Coach Willie incensed on the bench.
You got to call that. That's interference.
But
now Ryan O'Hara, breakaway, over the middle, looking for a chance, and Kotai shuts it off. He lost his mitt, and we'll get a stoppage of play. Willie was understandably unhappy about that play. The puck wasn't even close, and what looked to be Jaden Grant was being held onto there. O'Hara did not make the greatest move in the world on Kotai, but he shut it off nonetheless.
I think that may have been, as I said quickly, it was if that chance by Ryan O'Hara would have went in, then yeah, that's totally not a penalty. But now that it was not scored, yeah, you got to call that. I mean, wide open, in open ice, well after the puck was taken out of the area, you got to call that, especially right from the ref.
Grant throws the centerman to the ice, and a statement from Jaden Grant after the no penalty called against Bowling Green. It was Del Greco that was dropped down. He's got a goal in this game. Del Greco and Matsui. Greco a centerman yesterday. Matsui a centerman today. Taking it up the right wing, O'Hara. O'Hara looking for a pass. Back out to Sternberg. This one's forced away. Sternberg's got to beat Del Greco back. He's got open ice down the left wing. Del Greco moves it to the inside, and he's pushed away by Gustav Sternberg.
Sternberg lost his stick on the play.
Sternberg's picking up his stick right now. Del Greco's still got the puck through the middle out to Baumgartner at the blue line. Baumgartner takes it over on the right wing now, working it in. Backhand, Stover rejects it into the right wing side with 3:30 left to play in overtime, 1-1 still. Next goal wins. Matsui to Baumgartner. Niedermeyer gives the forecheck on to Baumgartner now. He's in his own zone still. Looking for a pass. He gets it in to Hennon. Shot saved by Christian Stover again. And it's pushed back all the way out. It'll be no icing against Augustana. Emanen will give a forecheck. 3 minutes left in overtime. Bowling Green needing to get the puck back pretty soon. O'Hara, Norris, and Niedermeyer on the ice for Bowling Green now. Out to the blue line. Brett Meerman with the puck on the right wing now, down to the goal line. Friesen fakes it, takes it over. BG playing man marking now as you do in a 3-on-3. Easton Young slashes and looks for a pass from Friesen, and Friesen will take it back down in his own end. Pass up to Easton Young, the defenseman. Crosses the pass into Meerman. Meerman with the puck now, just wasting time and getting a change off. Mace Langus and Hayden Hennon on the ice. Hayden Hennon, the overtime winner yesterday. Both teams looking to add an extra point to the one they'll take for the overtime today. Taking it all the way in, Owen Bond taken away by the Falcons, and they have a 3-on-2 with Bond on his knees there in front of Stover. Now he'll get up. Adam Zonka blows a tire. He's still got his edge of his skate. Ben Duran works it in on the doorstep. Adam Zonka tries to toe drag it away, and that was a couple of chances from the Falcons, and none of them high quality enough to find the back of the net. Zonka with the puck still. Bank pass to Scardina. Scardina takes it into the zone. Everybody's on sides. Scardina holds without huge pressure. His stick breaks on the wrist shot, and he's pretty frustrated with that. Drops it now, and back out to O'Hara. It's a little bit deep for him. Stover will have to play the puck, and we'll get a whistle, and we'll see what the call is.
Whistle was blown by the linesman there.
Are we going to get somebody to the bench from Bowling Green? Too many men on the ice for Bowling Green. That is a horrible turn. 4-on-3 for the next 2 minutes. Willie's not happy, but he's going to have to send a forward off.
I'll admit I was not looking at the bench at the time of the call, but that's something where you might want to look back at like the replay after this game and see how egregious exactly it was. But that's something you can let go in an overtime situation like this. Willie's still incensed.
We will not have any 3-on-3 left in this overtime. We'll have 1:27 of power play, and then we'll head to the shoot-off, and we'll have a timeout taken by Willie to talk things over with his team defensively. So it's looking grimmer for 2 points for Bowling Green in this game, but they can still get it done if they really hold this off and hope for the shootout on this power play for Augustana. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Augustana puts out 4 guys. Bowling Green will put out 3. Theirs is Grant Norris and Sternberg, so the best 2 defensemen and the best combination of offense and defense, pretty even. And 3 forwards and a defenseman for Augustana, although Hayden Hennon is their best scoring defenseman. 13 points this season and an assist today. Face-off won by Bowling Green. Jaden Grant with the puck. He'll try and waste as much time as possible. He'll take it up the near side and then dump it back in with 1:10 left to play in the overtime. All of this overtime is going to be played 4-on-3 after the bench minor penalty for too many men on the ice. Really want to see the replay on that to see if it actually was something that the referees could have let go, but penalty that Bowling Green had to take, and they'll have to kill off power play now and hope for the shootout. Back out to the blue line. Hennon looking in, down to the goal line, back out to the blue line. Hennon across to Meerman. Meerman turns it over out to Sternberg. Sternberg tries to clear it outside the blue line, is kept in by Hennon casually. Back out at the top of the wheel is Del Greco. Del Greco slap shot behind the goal by Brett Meerman, who switched spots with Del Greco there. Del Greco across to Hennon. Hennon with a shot in on the doorstep, taken away. Meerman on the right wing now. Back over to Hennon. Hennon in the center. His shot in is saved by Stover again. Knocked to the near side. Back over into the center. Another slap shot saved by Stover and kicked away from the offender, Joey Del Greco. Del Greco across to Meerman. Meerman across. Hennon looking for a shot. Another one blocked by Sternberg on the full cell. Pass across. Another shot saved by Stover as he holds on through the overtime. And we're going to get a shootout here in the Slater Family Ice Arena as the Madhouse on Mercer stands up and applauds for Hot Stove as he heads over to the bench. What a sequence from Christian Stover and what defense from Bowling Green.
This is not the first time we've seen Stover in overtime make unreal saves. This goes over to the backup goalie for tonight, Salvatore Ivola, as they discuss that.
So Foe will have to sit in the box for the shootout, I believe, as the punishment for Bowling Green taking the too many men on the ice, which is wildly unfortunate if that's true, because Foe is probably your best shootout taker. He had a penalty shot make against St. Thomas earlier in the year, also had a make in the shootout that happened later in that same game. The last shootout Bowling Green had was the second game against Bemidji State, 1 and 2 rounds by the Beavers after a clinic in the overtime of goaltending by Christian Stover. He was beaten twice in a row by the Beavers. And the time before that, the last one that Bowling Green had was also here against Michigan Tech, in which Bowling Green took the second point.
Brett Foe also scored in that one as well.
He did as well. So Foe will be off for, I believe, the entire shootout. The skating dancers for Bowling Green are still shoveling up the ice to make it as clear a surface as possible for Bowling Green. I'm assuming that Waters and O'Hara are going to be two of the guys that come out to take the shootout. Max Martin probably mixed in there as well if it goes in 3 rounds for Augustana. I would imagine Peyton Matsui would go out. Possibly Joey Del Greco as well, and Luke Mobley. Not trying to just choose the highest scorers there. If I did, Brett Meerman would go out as well, which I could definitely see. Hunter Bischoff is another good option. A lot of good options for Augustana. It's just who you like in the moment.
Could also see possibly Duran.
Duran could be a good one. He does have a quick draw, a good release on the wrist shot. Could see them throwing out Hayden Hennon if they really wanted to feed the hot hand. 2 points and only 2 goals scored this weekend for Augustana. And first they'll send out Owen Bond, which is a curveball. He skates in from the right wing, takes it up the left wing now. Christian Stover in the goal for the Falcons. Working in, quick draw, wide right. on the backhand by Owen Bond. Stover intimidating enough to force Bond away. And now Bowling Green's Brody Waters will get a chance. The leading goal scorer in the CCHA, leading for the Falcons, 14 goals, 5 assists this season. And the sophomore out of Heidelberg, Ontario. 6'3", 193 will take it up the left wing. Right-handed stick, working in on the right wing now, working in, another chance, and it's saved by Kotai as he directs that one away.
Quick poke-check, got it our way.
Kotai with 41 saves this game and a goal allowed. Stover with 25 and a goal allowed. Luke Mobley will take this one now. The captain is senior out of Lewis Park, Minnesota. Takes it up the left wing. Right-handed stick again. Quick draw and saved by Stover with the kicker. Guess who's going out for Bowling Green? It's Ryan O'Hara. Just snapped his point streak yesterday with no goals scored from the Falcons. He takes it back from his own zone wheel, takes some steam up, grabs the puck off of the center dot, working down on the right wing wheel. Now over into the center, left-handed shot, and it's saved by Kotai as it hit him in the glove and the leg pad as well. So 0 for 2, both squads. Mace Langus wants to put the pressure on Bowling Green and fill one here in this shootout. Possibility of taking another point. Left-handed stick, takes it up the right wing. Working in against Stover, a shot, and he's saved. Oh, he doesn't save it. It hit off his pad, and it squeaked right through under his leg. So that'll be a score for Meerman, who's Willie going to send out now for Bowling Green. I'm sorry.
Stover saved most of it. Couldn't save all of it.
He caught a piece of it. It's going to be the big man, Gustav Sternberg, that heads out amongst.
We talked about he scores in crucial moments. And this is about as crucial as it gets.
A star player for Bowling Green, Annebyberg, Sweden. 3 goals this season, working it up the left wing. 2 game winners, working in. Takes it over, misses the juke. And Augustana will come away with 4 points. Bowling Green will only come away with 2, and probably the most fantastic 2-point performance I've ever seen from a CCHA team. We'll talk about the entire series in this game in our post-game show in a few moments. You're listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
On September 13th, BGSU men's soccer's Bennett Painter scored the game-winning goal against Northern Illinois, leading to the team getting nationally ranked. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer had the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
Gonna win that one initially. Head up again. Wins the second one, however. Back to lane, back to Painter. That one's blocked, gets it back. Painter! Bennett Painter paints another masterclass at Cochran Stadium.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Similar to the last series played here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, Bowling Green versus Bemidji State. Bowling Green versus Augustana finishes with only 2 points taken in the CCHA as opposed to 3 in the Bemidji State Series, but it's really tough to know how to feel after this weekend, given how well Bowling Green played against the #1 team in the CCHA. Augustana takes 2 points tonight in the shootout winner. Nace Langus got the final say for Augustana beating Christian Stover, giving Bowling Green another chance, and it was a little bit too much to ask for from Gustav Sternberg, who went out and made a faulty move to drag it over to the right side. And that was how it ended for Bowling Green. 3 rounds. Augustana takes the lead 2-1. Ben Korak here with Nathan Burkett from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Nathan, what are your thoughts on today's game and the weekend in general?
As we mentioned, playoffs are coming up. After this, we now have only 5 weekends left before the CCHA playoffs start. 4 of them will be played against CCH opponents for the Falcons. The other one will be played against the National Developmental Team, which will be a fun exhibition game. But you got playoffs are on the mind. You know, we're obviously worrying about like standings and where the Falcons are going to end up. But also, I'm at the point where I'm trying to think of matchups, and I'm sure Willie is too, where he's thinking of how his team stacks up against some of the best teams in the CCHA. And if the scenario does play out where we see a BG versus Augustana series in any of the rounds, probably won't see it in the first round, but in the second or even in the championship series, I feel confident, even though we unfortunately got swept, I feel confident that the Falcons could be competitive in that game and, more importantly, could have a good chance of winning. Because in both games, you lose in overtime and you lose in the shootout. Both situations, it's a one-goal game. And one-goal games, they can go either way in the future. So in this situation, I'm overall pretty happy with how the Falcons played. Just when you go against Kotai and any of the goalies in the CCHA who are as good as Kotai, Stover, and Alex Tracy, there's going to be games like this where you just get goalied. And you just got to go back and see if you can study the film next time a little bit more and see what you can do.
The only thing you can really say too poorly about Bowling Green was their power play, and we're going to harp on that this coming week and the articles that we write. And then the Zig Zone tomorrow, which will occur at 4 p.m. So tune into that and hear us talk about BG hockey as well as men's and women's basketball and all other BGSU sports that are relevant at this time of year. But the power play, you know, they had 3 opportunities today. They had 6 opportunities yesterday, and you know, they went 0 for. I'm sorry, they had 3 opportunities today, 4 opportunities yesterday. They went 0 for 7 on the weekend on man advantages, and that's something that is getting to be, at this point, unforgivable when you have one late in the game and you're not able to fill it. And in 2 one-score games, you convert on one of those each night. You convert on 2 of those 7 or even one of those 7, and it's completely different. You took 3 points in the CCHA. So the power play has really been a problem for Bowling Green and something they really have to fix, and it has been over the last 3 series as well. Christian Stover is, still amazing. 2 goals allowed this weekend with about 61 saves, I believe, if my math is correct, for Christian Stover this weekend. That would be a goaltender of the week nominating performance, but he's not going to win because Josh Kotai allowed only 1 goal this weekend, as well as around the 70 mark in saves. So Kotai is probably going to be the goaltender of the week if I had to predict. He's probably the player of the game for this as well. Nathan, you can disagree with that if you have any gripes, but he was absolutely amazing, and it was just 1 shot different between him and Stover.
Absolutely, and in yesterday's 3 stars of the game, they gave the first star to Hennon, who got the overtime winner, but I disagreed yesterday. All the way when I was reading, I was like, no, you got to go Kotai. You got to go Kotai today again. Stopping 41 of 42 saves is something that in the CCHA, where it's so competitive, you don't always see that. So you got to give him the first star today. You should have given him the first star yesterday, and he's earned it both nights.
As far as the other stats go, Bowling Green did pepper Kotai. They had more shots on goal and more total shots by quite a margin, 45-31 in the shot on goal battle. They didn't do so well in faceoffs today after they absolutely stomped Augustana in that department yesterday. 34-27, Augustana won the faceoff battle today. They did have more block shots than Augustana, and they did have less penalties than Augustana. Their defense seemed to be better, and their offense seemed to hold on a lot more sizably than Augustana's did, but they were still able to force the overtime with some incredible saves from Josh Kotai, and Bowling Green was able to force it as well with even more incredible saves by Christian Stover, and that's how the game was going to end in a shootout fashion, and the only filler being Nace Langus from Augustana. As far as our pick the stick goes from the Falcon Media Sports Network, Lucas Kleinmeyer chose Ben Duran. He got 0 points. Tyler Cavalier chose Ryan O'Hara. He got 0 points. Nathan, you chose Brody Waters. He got 0 points. I chose Dalton Norris, got 0 points. And Artie Abrego, for the second night in a row, a board operator for the Falcon Media Sports Network, has won with Christian Stover. Yes, Holden also chose Stover last night. He scored 2 points the last 2 nights, got 2 wins, and the field of Falcon Media Sports Network, which includes everybody but Lucas, Tyler, and I, is now just a couple of points away from being the leader of the Pick the Stick ranking. So congratulations, Artie, and that's your thank you for board operating today and taking some time out of your night. The scores in regulation: Seth Fighton, 1851 through the first period, scored on assists from Jackson Niedermeyer and Vili Emanen. And then in the second period, a shorthanded attempt from Joey Del Greco got filled off of passes from Hayden Hennon and Hunter Bischoff. That could have also been construed as the play of the game because it was a shorthanded chance, and if Bowling Green even just didn't score on that power play but kept the Augustana Vikings off the board, we would have had 3 points in the CCHA. But at last, nothing for Bowling Green, and they only take 2 points this weekend, and one of the best weekends I've seen them play all season. Nathan, any final thoughts before we hit the road and start talking about Northern next week?
Thinking of Northern, there'll be another opportunity for them to kind of get back on track. But if they just keep playing like even though the results don't always show it, if they just keep playing like they did this series, they're going to have a great time the rest of the year, and they're going to have a great situation and a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. And I will be confident, both as a broadcaster, a writer, and as a fan of this team.
Northern Michigan unfortunately got swept by Michigan Tech this weekend. Michigan Tech took 2 wins, 6 more points in the CCHA. I believe they're going to rise up, or they should stay at third, I believe. Minnesota State should remain in second, and Augustana should stay at first with their 2 points taken today. Minnesota State did beat Ferris State 7-2. Bemidji State lost to St. Thomas 2-3 in Mendota Heights at the home of St. Thomas. Matthew Gleason scored a power play goal in the third period, odding it out for St. Thomas. And then Augustana, of course, won in the shootout against Bowling Green in one of the most competitive series I've seen of Bowling Green hockey in quite a long while. Next weekend, we will have a series against Northern Michigan. I will be on the call on WBGU 88.1 FM for both games of that weekend. Henry Costco, our highlight man, our video operator, will be up there as well. And we'll have highlight packages from that weekend coming up in the few days after. So I believe it's a 7 o'clock and a 6 o'clock start next weekend. Bowling Green versus Northern Michigan, the worst team in the CCHA, and that's going to be one to look out for as Bowling Green looks to take 6 points in the CCHA. And if they didn't necessarily need to come into this weekend, they certainly do now, which with the way that the points have fallen the last 2 weekends. So stay tuned for that. You could also tune in to bgfalconmedia.com and BG_FMSN on Twitter for BGSU sports news and updates from the Falcon Media Sports Network, as well as the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel for today's highlight package, as well as the rebroadcast of today's game and all other BGSU hockey and other Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts. Tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Zig Zone, where we'll talk about BGSU sports. Some Falcon Media Sports Network guys all get together and gab about what we see on the ice and on the floor with the basketballs and the hockeys, and depending on what happened around sports as well. I don't know the itinerary yet, but Lucas Kleinmeyer will be leading us tomorrow at 4 p.m. on this station, WBGU 88.1 FM. So certainly tune in for that. We'll see you next week when Bowling Green plays Northern Michigan in Marquette in the UP of Michigan. You are listening to BGSU Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMS